If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
This is a podcast from Minute Media.
Warning, the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, kiddies. This is yours duly, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. And you're listening to Slasher Radio.
All right, you guys ready to go?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I was born ready, motherfucker.
There you go. Welcome to Slasher Radio. My name is Mikey Bonez, and I'm joined by my fellow host, Kat Valor and Rob Humphrey. What's happening, guys?
Not much. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Namaste.
Happy birthday, Mikey.
Thank you, Kat. See, Rob, that's how you act. That's how you're supposed to act right there. You see that? What the hell, man?
I said namaste. That's nice.
We're technically it is my birthday as we speak right now. It's after midnight. We're recording kind of the night before, whatever. But Rob, it's technically my birthday right now, man. You gotta say namaste today of all days.
It's a nice thing to say to somebody, Mikey.
But you know I don't like it.
It's not like an insult. It ain't like I called you a stupid motherfucker or something. I said namaste.
You've called me a stupid motherfucker a couple times before.
Not on your birthday.
That may be true.
See, look it up. According to the dictionary, namaste is a respectful greeting.
Uh-huh.
So, fuck you.
I thought there was going to be more. It's a respect.
No.
Yeah,
Right.
no, yeah, me too. Yeah, well, you know what, Rob? Also, according to the dictionary, oi is a informal British term used to attract someone's attention, and it's also used as a greeting. Oi.
That's not how you use it, though.
How do I use it?
You use it as a weapon, a verbal weapon to assault me.
Use my foot as a weapon. You'll piss me off right away.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. It is my birthday.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
34. That's like ancient the cat.
Stop that.
It kind of is. I would give anything to trade ages with Cat, man.
Yeah, it's like I didn't know people got that old. How are you still alive? You must be a vampire.
It's weird, man. Like I was just having this conversation the other day. How the fuck did it happen? You know, like how the fuck did it happen? Like you truly feel, and like I catch shit sometimes. Like I have a few friends that are younger than me, and they're like, "Oh, the old man." I'm like, "Yeah, fuck you, man." First of all, it's gonna come sooner than you think. Like
Yeah,
it happens so fast.
It sure as fuck does, and it doesn't slow down.
It don't stop.
The older you get, the quicker it seems to go, man.
Yeah. My ankle started hurting the other day.
Oh, see, I get that shit. My shoulder hurt again.
I didn't even do nothing.
Mm-hmm. That happens.
And then it was fine.
Yeah.
It hurt for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it was just fine. Yeah.
Wait a little while, and then it'll be like a couple of days, and then it's like a week, and then it's like a couple of weeks, and it's like it hurts so long you forget about it.
It just becomes normal.
Yep, that's just their life.
This is life now.
Yep.
Speaking of life, as everybody knows, birthday pics are in cement. when we discuss movies that when we figure out what movies we're gonna discuss on this show. It's a committee. There's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of sarcasm, and
A lot of name calling sometimes.
yeah, that happens too. Sometimes. And it's a debate. And we got to land on something. The birthday picks are the birthday person gets the choice. There's nothing, no vetoing, no nothing. And as you can tell from the title, I picked Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yeah.
You sure did.
I sure did. And you know what? Honestly, there might have been a couple other reasons that I'm going to mention right now for me picking this movie. Nobody will ever know for sure. But you can't not say this movie, this is a big movie.
It is a big movie.
And there's a lot to talk about. Rob, will you give it that?
Oh, we're going to talk about some shit.
We're going to talk about some shit.
Don't worry about it.
Oh my God, I forgot about Drink Roll Call, which I can't fucking believe. We cannot forget Drink Roll Call today.
Yeah.
So what's everybody drinking?
Who wants to start?
Not me.
I'll start.
Okay.
I'm back to drinking. I have a whiskey sour.
Oh, all right. I don't believe I like whiskey sours.
I have a sore throat. I was coughing a whole bunch today, and my voice sounded really awful. And I started drinking whiskey sours, and I don't sound great, but it helped.
All right.
So
well, that's good to know. Good to know. My brother drinks whiskey sours, but I don't really care for them.
they're not my drink of choice usually, but they will help a sore throat. And usually when I do that, I have like hot toddies because that really helps my throat. But it is 1,000,000 degrees in my office today. I would have died.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's 1,000,000 degrees everywhere, always now.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you want me to go, Mikey?
Sure.
All right. I wanted to find a drink that tied into the movie somehow, like a fun little theme thing.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
So I am drinking what is known as a hillbilly margarita.
Oh my God. Is that a real drink term?
It is.
Is
I
that
found it
tequila and
online.
Mountain Dew?
It is Mountain Dew and tequila. Yes.
Oh my God. I don't know. Well, I'm mad at you over the Mountain Dew thing. We're not supposed to support Mountain Dew around here.
Yeah.
Because
I was torn. There was a hillbilly margarita, which is Mountain Dew and tequila. I also found something called a white trash margarita, which was Gatorade and tequila. But I just couldn't bring myself to do the Gatorade thing, so I went with the Mountain Dew and Patron.
The good thing about the hillbilly margarita is that the first one is disgusting, but if you keep drinking them, you quit caring really fast.
I will say this. The hillbilly margarita, I actually kind of like it. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I
think the tequila and the citrus and the fucking Mountain Dew mix is nice. I wouldn't really call it a margarita, but
I will say the thing for me is that I don't like Mountain Dew that much, and it still at its core tastes like Mountain Dew.
Yeah, it kind of does. But the beauty of the hillbilly margarita though is its versatility. You could get like Baja Blast or some other kind of Mountain Dew and do it.
You know what? I would try another hillbilly margarita with a different kind of Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Oh,
maybe not Baja Blast.
I thought, what could be more fitting for a Rob Zombie film than a hillbilly margarita?
That's pretty funny. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Hold on. I am sending. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to send this tweet and send you guys the link to the tweet.
I feel like you're adding steps, but all right.
Well, I'm taking away a step, actually, for myself.
Yeah, but for me.
You'll be fine.
The Zeet?
the Zeet of. I would like to present to you guys the Tickle Me Pink Lemonade, the ultimate lemonade drink.
You son of a bitch.
What? Why am I a son of a bitch? I would appreciate it if you would view the accompanying video with sound on, Rob, especially you.
Well, you can appreciate it all you want. I don't know if I know how to do it. What is in it?
What is in it is Country Time Pink Lemonade, Smirnoff Pink Lemonade, and Sprite Limonade Legacy.
This is the kind of place Mikey hangs out at.
What do you mean?
This is what you do on the weekends.
No, it's not.
You're like, let's go to the club.
I made this myself. And it has obviously an umbrella, because I'm down to about 150 of those motherfuckers or something now. It has a pink umbrella. It has a lime for a garnish.
I see that.
There's also some mint leaves floating on the
Okay.
top and a glow stick.
Okay.
And if you notice, the straw is a curly straw
Mm-hmm.
with a lemon on it.
All right.
How do you feel about this, Rob?
I mean, look, honestly, I feel fine about it. I don't know how you should feel about it.
What's wrong? What do you mean?
But, you know, I mean, you're a grown-ass man. And this is what you're drinking.
What's wrong with that?
Well, that's fine. Nothing. Do what you want to do. I mean, you know, I told you when I was at Fish, man, I waited in a long-ass line to get drinks, and I got up there, and all they had was pink lemonade and vodka. I fucking said no thank you and walked away.
But this is something I should be allowed to drink this.
It's your birthday, Mikey. You can drink whatever you want.
Here's the thing, Mikey.
Uh-huh.
You can drink it. You just shouldn't tell people you're drinking it.
Why not? I'm proud of
It's
this.
fucking embarrassing, man.
How? I'm a grown man. There's nothing wrong with it.
All right.
I have a glow stick in it, Rob.
All right.
I had assistance with this drink. I have to thank Chris and I have to thank Allie. There was
It took 3 people to make that fucking stupid thing.
3 people to make this beautiful, beautiful drink. And I made it way too strong. But here we are nonetheless. Rob, I hope you should make this drink one day.
No, that ain't gonna happen. It's way too much bullshit that I'm never gonna use again, and I'm not about that life anymore. I ain't buying all that shit that I'm never gonna use anymore.
Oh, I spent so much money. I mean, for a drink. This is about a good $40. Well, more. If you count the liquor, it's at least a $50, $60 drink. I had to buy the cup. I had to buy straw. I have like fucking 10 of these straws laying around now.
Yeah.
They got watermelons and shit on them.
That's the kind of shit in drink roll call I'm trying to get away from. That's why I was like, I want something on brand for the fucking Rob Zombie movie, but it's got to be cheap and easy. Mountain Dew and tequila.
Which is also on brand for the Rob Zombie movie.
Yeah. Mountain Dew and tequila, I'm in. I will drink Mountain Dew. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but I will drink it. And a bottle of Patron has never gone to waste.
No, it does not. But yeah, no, I'm very proud of this. This is the ultimate pink lemonade drink, Rob.
It's
It is.
beautiful.
It is. You bring shame upon your family, but
What? How? Shame on you. Shame on you for saying that. How about that? Shame on you.
Go down to the corner bar and drink that.
Rob, have you considered that it's more manly to drink what you want without caring?
Yes.
No.
All right.
I don't give a shit.
I tried, Mikey.
I don't give a shit. All right. We have a couple of voicemails to get. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. We can do the voicemails.
Oh, okay.
Trace the call. It's coming from inside the house.
917-397-KILL. That's 917-397-5455. You want to leave a voicemail? We have 2 voicemails this week, guys.
Wow.
Fancy.
All right.
Yep. One from Greg. It's Greg's Hot Take Corner. And we do have another one from Amber.
Aw.
Didn't we just do Greg's Hot Take Corner?
I don't remember.
No, that
how
was
long ago
actually
it was.
just a normal voicemail from Greg. They sound a lot alike sometimes.
Yeah, make sure you go check out Greg at Darth Gregor. This is, like I said, Greg's Hot Take Corner. He calls in and drops these hot take bombs on us. And it's usually a monthly thing. And here he goes.
Hello, Michael. Hello, Robert. Hi, Kat. It's I, Darth Gregor, back with another series of hot takes. Skinamarink is a better horror movie than Maximum Overdrive.
Oh,
Evil Dead Rise is better than both Evil Dead 1 and 2.
ooh.
Dr. Frankenfooter would make Dr. Chalice a bottom, and Predator is more of a horror movie than Joyride.
Huh.
That being said, Michael, bon compleanno. As a bonus, Halloween 2007 is better than Leprechaun.
Oh.
And for your information, Tony Danza is his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on November 21st, 1988. Thank you. Goodbye.
You.
Drive-by Danza from the voicemail.
That is so touching that they wanted to do that for your birthday.
I cannot fucking believe you, Greg. What? You had, Greg, kiss my ass, Greg. You had to hit me with the Leprechaun thing and with the guests are doing dances now.
I feel like Greg went above and beyond for your birthday to bring you that Danza. Greg, tip of the cap. That was great. I loved it. You got a lot of shit wrong there, but I don't even remember what it was now because I'm so dazzled by the Danza.
I want to throw this out there. I think this has been the best hot take corner. I think I only disagree with one of these takes.
Fuck this hot take corner. I don't like it at all. I got so thrown off by the Danza.
Predator is more of a horror movie than Joyride. I agree.
No.
Yeah, 1,000%.
No way.
Yeah, teen slasher shouldn't count as
action movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger should.
Sure, yeah. If it's got cool creature design, I'll allow it.
What was
I got Skinamarink is a better movie than what was it?
Maximum Overdrive. Which is
Maximum Overdrive. Oh, I don't.
That's just a false.
That one's rough.
Skinamarink's not even a fucking movie.
Skinamarink's probably a better horror movie than Maximum Overdrive. Yeah, I'd agree. Maybe.
No.
I think the only hot take that I disagreed with, and I'm not even mad, is Evil Dead Rise being better than Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. I disagree strongly, but I think it's the scariest of those three. So if that's what you're going for, I can see it. I disagree, but I see it.
I would agree that it's the scariest, but it's definitely not the best.
I think if what you're going for is scares, again, I disagree, but there's an angle that I can see it from.
Yeah.
They're so hard to compare because you cannot begin to compare a movie that they had practically nothing and Sam Raimi's dragging fucking what's his name through the woods, Bruce Campbell through the woods. You're talking a high powered movie with money behind it. It's hard. They're two different things to me. Is that fair?
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That charm of Evil Dead is hard. Like Evil Dead Rise is great, and I can't wait to talk about it on the show. But yeah, that's a hard call, Greg. And the Leprechaun thing was bullshit too. What did he say was better?
Oh, what was the Leprechaun? I forgot.
Shit.
There's a lot going on. Also, here's the thing. I don't like Dr. Frankenfurter, but he absolutely would make Dr. Chalice a bottom. So
No, there's no way.
that's
Dr.
just a
Chalice is
fact.
the man.
I could make Dr. Chalice a bottom. I don't think it takes much. He's an old guy.
No, he's the fucking man, dude. But I will also say this, to be honest with you, I don't know that Dr. Chalice wouldn't like it.
Yeah, that's the thing is I think Dr. Chalice, I think the man that fucked his way through way too much of our last bracket would want to see what was going on with Dr. Frankenfurter. And once you admit, that you're curious, Dr. Frankenfurter's gotcha, I think.
Possible. Look,
that's just a fair.
Dr. Chalice is a kinky dude.
It's hard because that's what he said. He said this Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2007 was better than the Leprechaun.
Oh, that's right.
Again, it's two different things, but I don't think so.
Better than Leprechaun and what? Because I feel like there were two, right?
I only heard one.
Okay.
Better than Leprechaun.
2007 is better than Leprechaun. And for your information.
Oh, yeah, I'm not playing that. Motherfucker. He was about to do it again.
I almost got you.
What, for our information, what? I missed that.
Kiss my ass. What? You made Tony Danza's name like a fucking nightmare to me. Every time people just say, and they all say it the same too. Tony Danza, you son of a bitch, you. No more Danzas, Rob. Look what you did.
I didn't even do that. I just over here minding my own business, drinking my fucking Mountain Dew and tequila.
But you caused it. This is happening because of you. Anyway, second voicemail. There it is.
Hi, Slasher Radio. It's your favorite Jersey girl. I just wanted to say happy birthday, Mikey.
Oh,
I'm so proud of you, buddy. I hope you have a wonderful birthday weekend or however you want to celebrate it. Just happy birthday, my friend. Much love to you. Hi, Rob. I wanted to say namaste to you, my friend, of your happiness. And hi, Kat. Oh, I just adore you. I think you're so wonderful. You guys are really doing an amazing job with Slasher Radio. It's come so far, and I'm so proud of you all. But again, happy birthday, Mikey. Much love to ya.
I love hearing from Amber. Amber is
I
just,
love hearing from Amber.
She's so nice and positive all the time.
except when you're doing the capiche hands, Amber. I checked out Greg's live today at Darth Gregor on TikTok, and
Did she do it again?
she did it again.
She did
Yeah.
it again, yeah.
And because
Did
of
you need
Rob,
told
she
off
did it.
again? Oh, okay.
Uh,
I knew Cabin in the Woods came up, so I thought maybe you needed lectured again.
yeah, Cabin in the Woods came up. Silence of the Lambs came up. A couple of things me and Amber don't really agree on, but I think she was nice to me because it's my birthday. Is what I think happened.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, next week she'll be just right back to The capiche hands were because of Rob. Rob made that happen.
I mean,
didn't-
not really. I just couldn't figure out how to make them come up on the thing.
Yeah, Rob said he can't find the capiche hands emoji, and Kat was like, "Here you go, Rob." Kat and Amber was like, "Here you go, Rob," and just boom, did it. Don't appreciate
So
it.
she was helping.
Yeah, she was being helpful, like she always is.
God damn it! Thank you very much, Amber. I love you, Amber. Thanks, Greg.
Great to hear
I
from
think.
both of you.
See, Rob. See, Kat just said it's great to hear from Greg. We can't go that far.
That was his best hot take corner.
It was a good one.
That was bullshit. I don't like it at all. Right. I do love how though on their lives they're saying, "Where are my balls?" Oop, wrong button.
And where are my balls?
And huge clown penis.
Huge clown penis.
So, I do love that those are catching on. And since we're here, why not?
Huge clown penis.
Now I'm happy. All right, that's it for the voicemails and stuff. We're not going to do news this week, but I figured we can go over our Halloween rankings. Obviously, it has to do with the movie discussion, but also we did Murder by Numbers 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween Ends has come out since then. Rewatches of shit has happened, so I feel it'd be a good time to go over our official Halloween ranking.
Are we bringing Murder by
All right.
Numbers back this fall?
I'd like to bring Murder by Numbers back this fall.
All right.
Yes. All right. Who wants to go first? You guys want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to just go through your whole ranking, or do you want to do it number by number, each of us rotating, sort of snake style?
Okay, that works. All right, I'll start us off. We're starting at number 1, right? Or are we?
No.
No, we're
Right?
starting at the
Oh,
bottom.
yeah,
Number
right, 'cause-
13.
Well, there should be no problem with the first few, but Kat's here, and I forgot. So every time I bring up Halloween ranking, I completely forget what Kat did.
I will say there are some franchises that we've never ranked at all, and this is going to be the third time publicly I've had to give my Halloween rank.
Kat, secretly, me and Rob have been DMing, and we feel
I
you
know.
need to.
We should have had you get Mr. Cat's boyfriend guy's rankings.
He hasn't seen enough of them yet. So far, his rankings are like 1 and 2.
Oh, you haven't shown him 3 yet?
No. Listen, we don't. It's a Halloween movie. We'll watch it closer to Halloween.
All right.
She's holding off on that one, Rob.
I know, she's holding off the
I'm
best for
scared
last.
to.
I don't
I'm
blame her.
scared to watch Season of the Witch with him. So.
I really just want him to start acting like Dr. Chalice after he
I
sees it.
really don't want that.
Grow a sweet ass mustache.
Oh my God.
I don't want to have to leave him.
All right. My number 13, bottom of the list, starting bottom to top. I got in a little trouble with Will about this too. Will the Thrill, guys. We were talking Halloween in Allie's Discord, and he wasn't happy with me.
All right. What's interesting about number 13 is, if I'm not mistaken, unless somebody's changed, we all have a different movie at number 13.
I think
Yes.
so. I have changed my list a little, but not much.
Me too. And my number 13 is Season of the Witch, Halloween 3. That stays the same.
That is.
I can
just a
understand
shame.
why Will the Thrill was mad at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I stand by
I'm
that.
sitting here tonight drinking out of my Halloween 3 glass with Tom Atkins on it,
Well,
being ashamed of you.
not a Halloween
right.
movie. It wasn't that great. It's very overrated. I hate the tide it's made, because that movie was always hated, and then there was like, a turn of the century where people just started liking the damn thing. I don't know what happened.
Everybody loves a comeback story, Mikey.
All right.
All right. My number 13 is clearly the correct answer in the worst film in this franchise, and that is Halloween Resurrection.
That's bullshit.
Wrong.
I think if you look at your Twitter account, you will find.
I've mentioned that. I think it was on Patreon. Whenever a lot of people, there was a lot of love for Halloween 3 and a lot of hate for Resurrection. But I'll tell you what, there was hate for Halloween 3 in there too. I'll say that. Maybe not as much as Resurrection. I'll admit.
There's a certain percentage of the population that's always going to be wrong.
Unbelievable. That's shameful. But Kat, what's your number 13?
Curse.
Okay. That's fair.
6.
Number 6.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. My number 12 is Halloween Ends.
Well, get out of here. What?
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Yeah. I don't like that fucking movie, man.
It's a good movie, Mikey.
It's not a good No, Michael Myers got his ass. He got his mask snatched in the sewer by the kid that got bullied by the band geeks, man. No, I won't accept it. I understand what they were trying to do. I get it. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
So here's what you can tell from Mikey's rankings already. He doesn't like it when they do anything different.
It's Halloween. It's Halloween. You don't need to do anything different.
Right.
Give us Michael Myers.
Remember you said that.
Okay, I understand.
In about 20 minutes.
I understand. You remember they did something different too, though.
All right. Number 12 for me is The Curse of Michael Myers.
Okay. My number 11.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kat.
It's okay. Number
Damn,
12
you
for me.
rude asshole.
I'm
I know it's your
sorry.
birthday, but that don't mean you just get to do whatever you want.
This drink is very strong.
Just for that, number 12 is Halloween Resurrection.
God damn it.
So Kat and I are close. We just flip-flopped them.
Yeah.
You guys
All
both
right.
wrong. That's crazy. Wow. All right. Resurrection will come up again. But not right now. My number, goddamn, I'm all thrown. Number 11 is Rob Zombie's Halloween. The second one. Number 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
My number 11 is The Revenge of Michael Myers.
Okay.
I like how we all also wrote these down differently. My number 11 is Halloween 5.
Okay. Same movie.
Also, The
Yeah.
Revenge of Michael Myers,
Yes.
which is what inspired the comment.
Yeah. I didn't write mine down. I have Letterboxd. I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing. I know both of you have the app. I don't know why you didn't just create a list in there.
Well, because I got Letterboxd late, so I don't know. I only rate movies like as I'm watching them in Letterboxd. So I haven't
If
seen
you
all
want to
these.
write your list out like an Amish person, you can. It's fine. It's just weird. That's all.
As long as you do it on you got to do it on an envelope, makes it okay.
Yeah. It is on an envelope.
You gotta have a fucking do it by candlelight with a little feather pen you dip in ink and shit. Yeah.
The last time I used Letterboxd is when I went through every single movie you've rated and rated them myself. The ones I've seen. I haven't used it since. I was very tired after that.
I can't believe you went through all those movies. There's a lot.
I was in bed doing it. I went to bed and I was like, all right, I'll finish the last few. My number 10 is Halloween 6. So it's right around Curse. Yeah, it belongs at the bottom somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it sure does. My number 10 is Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Oh, you son of a bitch. All right. That's fucked up.
If you don't like that, Mikey, I have bad
Oh,
news
boy.
for you. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
My number 10 is H2O.
Oh,
Wow, Cat went right after H2O at number 10. Wow.
my God.
I rearranged a little bit of stuff, and H2O did not fare well in the shift.
Yeah. I can
Yeah.
see that.
We have very different lists. All right. My number 9 we're at now is Revenge. No, Halloween 5. Revenge of Michael Myers.
Okay.
I don't like the niece storyline. I don't like it.
It doesn't, the Halloween 5 just doesn't work. Like, it just doesn't work. I don't know. It has that whole weird connection, like psychic connection shit and everything is kind of dumb.
Mm-hmm.
My number 9 is H2O.
God damn you.
Which is more of a Scream film than a Halloween film. Its only saving grace is LL Cool J.
Ladies love Cool J now.
My number 9 is Halloween Ends.
Cat.
Sorry,
Fair.
yeah. So this is a movie that we re-ranked to add to the list. before when we did our Halloween rankings last time, Rob and I had pretty close rankings up until the end there. We all had a few within one another, but yeah, I can't get behind ends. I appreciate what they tried to do more than what, happened in the ones below this, but I still have to rank it off of what I got, and that was not much. So, that's where it is.
Okay, fair. My number, goddamn, what are we at? 8 now?
Yeah.
8.
Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still pretty low.
My number 8 is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Mikey, my number 8 is Rob Zombie's Halloween.
God damn it. It just makes me mad that it's above Resurrection for you. Like, that's the thing. Every time you say a movie, I'm like, fuck, Resurrection?
Am I the only one who ranked Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 higher than his Halloween?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh. That's unfortunate. All right. Next for me is Halloween 4.
Halloween 4?
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking at your list right? We're at number 7.
Yeah. I said it. Halloween 4.
All right. My number 7 is Halloween Kills.
Okay.
My number 7 is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Damn it.
I have them right next to each other, but 2 is higher.
All right.
My number 6 is Halloween Kills.
My number 6 is Halloween Ends.
Oh.
How the fuck did it get that high, Rob?
There it is.
Halfway through.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I like it. I think it's a good movie. I watched it a few times since it came out, and I've enjoyed it.
I've also watched it a few times since it came out, but that didn't help. Didn't help me.
I read the novelization too. I don't know if that helps anybody.
My number 6 is Halloween Kills.
Okay. All right. We got her on the same with that one. My number 5, top 5 here, Halloween Resurrection.
You're out of your fucking mind.
That's right. I said
5?
it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Absolutely. Good movie, man. Reinvented.
It's not, though. It's not a good movie, Mikey.
It's an entertaining movie.
It is not, though.
It is.
I don't think you know what those words mean.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
My number 5 is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Oh, Rob,
my number 5 is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Oh,
right,
Cat.
And Mr. Cat's boyfriend guy, you're going to like it too.
Hate
but
it,
not
please.
too much, or else.
Be a chalice.
Please, Mr. Cat's boyfriend guy. Hate it. My number 4 is Halloween 2018.
Okay. Hollow Green.
Yeah, I'm thinking about this one though real hard. I forgot about this. All right, I'll leave it for now.
All right. My number 4 is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
Okay.
Rob, my number 4 is Halloween 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Halloween 4 is a really strong entry that people overlook.
It is.
I don't know why.
Good. I think it's because people and I did this for a while too, where I associated it with 5.
Yeah.
And because 5 doesn't work, I had it in my head that 4 also didn't work, but 4 is good.
4 is very close to the original.
Yeah.
It is.
Like
that
in story
ending,
and
though.
everything. It's not as good, but it's
no.
Anyway, all right. Cat and I again though, on the same wavelength. Look at that.
Yeah.
We're friends for right now. Let's hold on to this.
Right now.
It's gonna change. All right. My number 3, top 3 is Halloween H2O.
I forgot you hadn't used H2O yet.
That's where it's
Mikey,
H2O is a good movie.
No, it's not. And you are at the same there's 2 sides of the Mikey coin. There's the super frustrating side, right? But then if you flip that coin over, there's the side that I find extremely entertaining and how frustrating you are.
I like that both sides are frustrating.
Yeah, that's my charm. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't tell. I gotta cut that out. I can't let that secret out. That's how I do things.
Where are we at? Number 3?
No.
Yes, we're number 3.
My number 3 is Halloween 2018.
Okay.
My number 3 is Halloween 2.
Oh boy,
Okay.
first chip has fallen.
Yeah, it's coming now.
Here's something me and Rob agree on. Is my number 2 is Halloween 2.
And it's my number 2 is Halloween 2 also. I will say, there's a part of me that it's like razor thin. I could see 2018 eventually working its way to that number 2 spot for me. I do really like that movie.
That's what I was confused about. Because I might put 18 above I might, but I enjoy H2O, so I don't know. But to be determined. But right now.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
I could see it making its way to that number 2 spot for me.
That's
nothing
fair.
crazy like what Kat's about to do, but
Kat, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Halloween.
And we paused to wait for more words.
No year. That's just
Okay. My number 1 is Halloween.
My number 1 is John Carpenter's Halloween from 1978.
And my number 1 is 2018.
She said it with such confidence.
Still not budging on that, huh, Kat?
It's not the better movie, but I like it better. We get hung up on this all the time, but there's a difference between like critical quality and favorites. 2018 is my favorite, and I'm standing by it.
All right. I never quite know what to do with this information.
It's awkward every time.
I know, I never really quite sure how to process it.
Here's the thing, is that I think even if as I mature, I decide, no, I'm going back to the classics, 78 is my favorite Halloween movie, everyone would believe I did it out of peer pressure. I'm pretty much locked into this take out of spite at this point. Even if I didn't believe it, I would have to stick this one out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can kind of respect that, but I don't know. I never quite know what to. And the thing is, normally, like if we were doing pretty much any other franchise, and the movie that I had at number 1, Kat had at number 2, it wouldn't be that big a deal. But this is fucking Halloween. You know what I mean? Like it's Halloween, Kat.
Yeah.
Oh shit! It's one of my favorite things because I don't know what, like I forget about it every time. Like that's the best part for me. I always forget until it comes up because there's always that moment where Rob realizes. Like I forget what episode you guys were talking about on This Horror Life, and like Rob had like Kat had brought it up, and it was that oh shit moment. It's like oh man, there it is again. It's like Rob's arch nemesis is Kat's Halloween ranking. Oh fuck!
We're gonna get to a point where Kat's arch nemesis is also Kat's Halloween rankings, but
eventually, yeah.
So, but Halloween Ends, that was the one that really forced the adjustment. And,
what number does everyone have ends at? Do we know the?
I had it highest at 6.
I had it at 12.
I had it at 9. So we've got a decent spread on the Halloween Ends.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, if you guys just sit down and watch it another dozen times or so each, you'll really learn to appreciate it.
No. Again, I talked about Michael Myers getting his mask snatched. He's getting pushed around. The best kill in the movie wasn't even him, by miles, wasn't even a Michael Myers kill. No.
The movie's like it's all about Corey.
I'm not watching Corey Ween. I'm watching Halloween. I want Michael Myers. I don't fucking.
It's not called Myers Ween either.
No, it's not.
And why are you watching so many Weens?
Leave me and my Weens alone. No, I can't. I honestly, I had Rob Zombie's a second Halloween. It was obviously in 12 before that, in the 12 spot. And I had it above that. And the more I thought about it, I had watched it again since then. And I was like, no, fuck that. And it's not helping.
You're the only one who put his Halloween 2 lower than Halloween.
His Halloween 2 is really good.
I think so too.
We'll
it's
get
better
into
than it. I don't think it's really good. I think it's better than his Halloween.
I don't think so, but I will say this. I had Rob Zombie's Halloween. Obviously, I rewatched it to talk about it for the show today.
Oh, you rewatched it this year. Oh, look at that.
Motherfucker, you better have too.
I did not.
Did you really not?
Why would I?
Did you really not watch this fucking movie?
Yes, I watched the fucking thing earlier today.
I thought you pulled to me last year. I was going to say, motherfucker. All right, fair. But I had it. My bottom went 3 ends, Halloween 2 from Rob Zombie, and then Rob Zombie's Halloween. And I put it after this rewatch above 6 and 5. So it did something.
I just want to throw this out there. I talk about this sometimes with other franchises where about like the percentages of likes to dislikes in a franchise. Halloween actually fares really well because I start actively liking them at my 8th slot forward, which is this movie. I like Rob Zombie's Halloween fine, and everything above that is good. Like,
yeah, I would say I start liking them at my 9 slot forward because I don't like I like H2O. I don't think it's good, but there are things about it that I like, and then pretty much everything after that I like.
Yeah, I do have 2 kind of middle ones, but I put it like right in because I don't dislike Ends, but I am done rewatching it for the foreseeable future, I think. So
You haven't watched it enough.
No, I think I have. I think I've seen it 4 times now. I think that's enough times.
No, that's more times than me. I think I've only seen it 3.
It's enough. It's enough times.
All right. Do you guys want to move into the movie discussion?
Nope.
Oh, boy.
Mikey, I promised you that I would do something nice for you on the same episode that you got Drive By Danzig. I have, for 1 week and 1 week only, I have suspended Gabagooli Mystery Corner, despite the absolute flood of Gabagooli Mystery Corner submissions this week.
Whoa, wait a minute, hold up. Thank you very much, Kat. That's first and foremost. Thank you. We didn't have one last week either, so we're on a roll.
That's true. I almost didn't give it to you this week because we had no news segment next week, which is where we usually put the Gabagooli Mystery Corner. But this week, intentionally, without scheduling me a shark interview,
yeah,
you are free of the Gabagooli Mystery Corner.
Look at that. Kat being a lady and a gentleman at the same time. Oh my God. I love that gift. But what do you mean there's been an influx of what? There's more now?
We got a lot of them this week. The folder runneth over once more.
Are you fucking kidding? Oh, these bastards knew it was my birthday. What the hell, man?
They're trying to celebrate with you on your birthday.
No, I don't want this. This is not fair.
We got one in particular that I really enjoy, but we'll get to it next week.
Why?
Some of those Gabagooli people can help out by sending me some Danza fun facts because I'm really running out fast.
Yeah.
And if we don't get enough, we're going to have to move on to like Ralph Macchio fun facts.
We're not going to get to no. I didn't give a shit about Tony Danza. Ralph Macchio.
I vote that we move on to Moonstruck facts. Very Italian.
Moonstruck, yeah.
I might have a letter or a statement read on the Nick Wu Cage Cast, so maybe. Talk about that movie.
We'll see. It's going to have to be edited, though.
Oh, God forbid. God forbid you do that.
I think that's the reason why you're actually banned is because Rob doesn't want to have to edit you if you say something mean about Nick Cage.
You can't. If I do this, for a little background, Kat and Rob are doing a movie for the Nick F. Wu Cage Cast that is apparently Italian, and they just want me to watch it. And if I do, I'm allowed to issue a statement to the Nick F. Wu Cage Cast that will be read in the style of Rob's statements when he's not here. You can't edit me if I say something, though, right?
It depends on what you say.
What do you mean? No, my words cannot be minced. That's illegal.
I can guarantee you there's not editing going on in the Nick F. Wu Cage Cast. I can
second that guarantee.
All right, fair.
I know the guy who's in charge of doing it.
Does he have anything to do with secret panel of judges?
No. Different guy.
Okay. You say so.
Also on background for everybody. In 1986, Tony Danza married Tracy Robinson. The couple separated in 2006 and filed for divorce on March 10th, 2011. The divorce was finalized February 6th, 2013. They have 2 daughters.
Rob.
Why'd
you do that?
He could have followed suit, but you did choose Halloween as our movie. So
I'll pay for that in due time.
It's your birthday. I thought I was helping.
You seen I just got a Danza. You seen that Greg did it. You seen that just happened.
Huge clown penis.
Listen, I was going to do 2 or 3 extra ones for your birthday.
Oh,
but I'm running out, so I don't want to have to learn a lot about Ralph Macchio.
Okay, you're running out. All right. First of all, I think I've heard that one before. I just want to throw that out there. That sounds
I
familiar.
am. I said it last week, but I'm getting closer and closer to running out unless people can help out with these.
Wait, is that the same one you told me last week?
No, it's a different one.
Oh, well, no, I've heard that fact before is what I'm saying, I think.
No, last week I talked about his first wife. That was his second wife.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was. And by the way, I'm sitting in Allie's stream the other day. Kat, he just gave me a danza in the middle of her fucking stream.
I don't recall that.
That's irresponsible danza usage. If you're running out, you've really got to ration them.
Yeah, maybe that's why you're running out. You don't stop now.
I feel like there is a case that could be made for that, Cat, but I also feel like it's irresponsible of Mikey to be someplace when he knows I'm there and not expect to get a danza. It's like he doesn't learn.
So you're going to just do it on site now? Like, what the hell? You're going to follow me? That's harassment, Rob, all right?
I imagine Mikey walking down the street one day and just happens to pass Rob, and Rob pulls out a book of Tony Danza fun facts.
Yeah, like Rob just walks up to me shoulder to shoulder on the street. By the way, hey, Tony Danza. God damn, man.
Why don't I get any credit for the restraint that I've shown? I have not once texted you a Tony Danza fun fact.
Holy
That's
shit.
impressive.
All right, well, I'm going to have to block your number.
And don't think I haven't thought about it.
Have you really? Motherfucker, like throughout your day, you're just thinking, oh, I should text Mike and send him a Tony Danza. What's wrong with you?
It pops into my mind every once in a while.
How many times you think about doing that, Rob, you think?
I'm not going to lie. I've got a bit of a sickness.
Leave me alone. Why? Your sickness is torturing me. This is crap.
Mikey, he thinks about you during his day. It's nice.
He sure does. Sure does. Dirty bastard. All right. Let's take a quick break then and we'll get into movie stuff. I hate you. I really do.
Who are you talking to?
The mental unwind is real from your bullshit. All right. Anybody got a pee-pee or anything?
No, I just did.
I'm good.
Okay. In your pants right there?
No.
That did kind of make it sound like you just did.
When I went to refill my drink, I did.
Sure.
I guess I should have clarified.
You got you a battle bucket? Do you know there's a thing called a battle bucket?
Yeah.
You heard of that? Kat, have you heard of the battle bucket?
No.
It's for gamers where they have a seat.
Yeah, I will say, you said the words battle bucket, and I just had an image of like World of Warcraft players.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
is. It's a hole in a chair with a bucket underneath, and they got a hose
Ooh.
coming up so you can either or.
Oh.
Kind of a beautiful thing. We should make Slasher Radio battle buckets. All right. In 2007, a guy named
I
Rob.
really thought you were gonna drop a Tony Danza fun fact.
You see,
The way
it
you
sounded like it,
started
didn't it? Didn't it? Son of a bitch,
Did.
man.
There's a voice. There's a Tony Danza voice.
I've got one from 2008 if you want that.
No. Got him filed by year, you fucking lunatic. All right. In 2007, a guy named Rob Zombie decided to make a Halloween movie. And he did it.
Well,
And then made another one. But we're talking about just the 2007 movie here. I'm sure we'll get into a lot of different shit about the franchise. This is my birthday pick. I don't think I need to say any more.
I would like you to say a little bit more, actually. Why is this your birthday pick?
we all know why
Why
it was
did
his
you
fucking
choose
birthday
this?
pick.
Why? What do you mean, Rob? I don't understand. Are you
Mhm.
insinuating things?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, it's a big movie. It's a very talked about movie. It's infamous. And I feel like God, every time I start talking about this movie, I think about other stuff like on the opposing argument. It's a polarizing film, and I felt it would be interesting to talk about. I really felt that Rob needed another rewatch on this bad boy. And here we are. Here we are talking about Halloween. So do you guys want to give an opening thought on this thing?
Yeah, this movie sucked.
That's it?
Yep, that's Slasher Radio, guys. Talk to you next week.
All right.
My opening thought is that this is at the bottom of the Halloween movies that I will gladly rewatch. But I will gladly rewatch it, so it could be worse.
All right, Rob. Is your your riveting thought on this movie? Is it Are you talking about the movie itself, or are you grading it like, oh, this is also like as a Halloween movie?
I'm talking about as a movie itself, it sucks, and as a Halloween movie, it really sucks.
Okay, I'm glad you expounded so
Yeah,
detailed.
there you go.
Yeah, good for you.
Sorry, I didn't realize you needed that much explanation.
I might have read Rob's review of this while I was searching today, because there was one that said that almost verbatim.
So here's the thing. This is a movie that when I go a long time without seeing it, it will come up, or I'll see a thing and I'll think, it's not that bad, whatever. And then I watch it and I'm like, oh, this is really fucking terrible.
See, I'm on a weird spot with it because I feel like as a Halloween movie, it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
But if you, and I've said it a bunch of times before, if Rob Zombie made the same exact movie and with different character names, and it wasn't Halloween, it didn't have the title of Halloween, with a different mask, he would have his own franchise. I think it's that good.
But he didn't.
He
didn't. It is called Halloween. The killer is Michael Myers. The final girl is Laurie Strode. And I think you're still wrong, because I think it's a terrible movie. all the way around.
I have one fatal flaw with this movie. There's like one thing that I can't quite get over with this one. That aside, which we'll get into that later, like my biggest problem with the writing of this film.
Okay.
If you put a pin in that, and other franchises have bigger flaws in the grand scheme of things. I agree with you. I think if this had not been a Halloween remake, it would have been much better. I think it would be really good. I think it's entertaining. I think they do a lot of the scares really well. I think there's enough difference here that it easily could have not been Michael Myers. Like, if you had changed all the names, there's not a lot to make me suspect that this is a Michael Myers film. I think it could have been done. I kind of wish it had been done, because I think people would be a lot kinder to this movie. And I agree with you. I think it could have been a franchise. As a Halloween remake, it does suffer.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. It's such a great movie on its own right. What's your favorite scene? Is it the wholesome family breakfast where everybody yells at one another? Or is it the one where the poor mentally disabled woman gets raped? Like, what is... I don't see there's nothing good in this movie. The characters all suck. The dialogue all sucks.
So I'm gonna just go ahead and say right now, my biggest problem with this movie, my flaw that I have a really tough time getting past, is that I would have liked to see the dialogue shift strengthen in between the redneck breakfast that we see that Michael is taken away from to Laurie's attitude. Laurie's dialogue drives me up the fucking wall in this movie, because it's like, look, she got away from this, she's better, but then she's not. Like, she still talks like she's in redneck land.
The very first time we meet Laurie, she's at breakfast with her family, finger in a bagel
joke. Yeah. That's my biggest problem with the movie, because I think honestly, that was really that dichotomy between like, this is the kind of upbringing that can drive someone to madness, and like, here's where he goes trying to get his sister, whatever. Like, I think that dichotomy could have been really interesting. That's what I would have wanted to see more of, not only from this film specifically, just from a writing standpoint, but like in a franchise. I would have loved to see redneck killer killing non-rednecks, like in different environments. That has a lot of entertainment value for me. And just as things that worked for me in the franchise, I really liked the obsession with masks. I like that he makes his own masks. I like the time in the institution, and phenomenal soundtrack. I love the soundtrack for this. Which it's not like a ton. It's not like, oh, pick it up for 12 more installations, but that's a solid enough premise of a killer and a good enough film point that I would watch a second one, no questions asked.
The only one that I agree with you on is the soundtrack. I think the soundtrack is great for this movie.
I have the soundtrack on vinyl.
And
It's
it looks
good.
good. It's shot well.
It's shot well.
Like, technically speaking, it's well done. Rob Zombie's movies are always technically well done.
Yeah, they always look great.
It's just what he decides to shoot that's a fucking problem.
Well, let me tie back to what you were saying about the breakfast thing, because that's the opening pretty much of the movie. Man.
Wait, hold on. For clarification, Laurie's breakfast with the adopted family or the redneck
Myers.
full? Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Little baby Myers. Man, seeing, obviously it's not great to watch because, you know, it's so dark when you think about it. Like that's how those kids live, man, every day. And you see like the type of character like the stepdad is and the mom, and it's like you can see the damage it's doing and it can do. Like you can see a kid losing their fucking mind coming up like that. And again, it's not great to watch because it's uncomfortable, but Rob Zombie was able to achieve like that scene was like that whole thing was uncomfortable.
It was, but it creates the same problem that Devil's Reject creates. Now I'm watching a movie where I am led to sympathize with the man who's eventually going to become a psychopath and kill all these people who then I'm supposed to root against. It's the reverse of the Devil's Reject, which at the end of the movie, he decides I'm supposed to sympathize with these fucking assholes. Now he's created a situation where I can sympathize with Michael Myers because I know how he grew up and I've seen what he's been through. And I don't feel bad. Like when he kills that fucking stepdad, it's like, awesome. Fuck that guy. But now I'm on Michael's side. I should not be on Michael Myers' side.
See, I think, and this is where I think seeing the expanding the like nurture versus nature thing and letting Laurie be like a regular, well-spoken, mature person would have really helped this, because I think it's kind of an interesting premise if you can see initially where Michael Myers is coming from, and then that violence turns into something like dark and he has a tough time after breaking out of the institution. Like on paper, I don't think it's a bad idea.
I don't think it is at all.
I think it's just the fact that everything else, like even in the nice houses and like at the better school district and in a different town, there's still that level of Rob Zombie-ness to this film that kind of works against the storytelling.
I feel like it you can look at it from two parts, because at that point in the movie, you kind of are supposed to sympathize with that kid because he didn't do anything fucked up yet. The problem is it's a title like Halloween, and we know he's going to do some fucked up shit. But I feel like it's more of an understanding because you know where it's going to go. It's Michael Myers. It's not a new story. But it's showing you how you got there, how he got to that point, what made him get to that point. And I guess I'll talk about it later. I do see what Rob's saying for the sympathy thing in a different spot. And that's way later on in the movie. But I thought it was great that they had that in there, man.
All it does is show me that Rob Zombie doesn't understand the character of Michael Myers just as much as he doesn't understand the character of Laurie Strode.
I will say, though, Rob, and again, this cycles back around to the, like, what if it hadn't been a remake? What if it had been an original movie? Which obviously it wasn't. But one thing that I do think would work as an original story like this, it's one thing when we know that it's Michael Myers and we're going to end up not rooting for him. I would love to see this movie, like, almost virtually redone, where they lean into that more, where we root for him the whole time, because we see that sometimes with like anti-heroes and revenge movies, but I would love to see it just like a kid in a bad home, in like a Rob Zombie redneck style home, kills a stepdad because he's crazy, and then he just keeps killing people that he thinks deserve it, and we just never, like, I think it'd be an interesting moral thing if we just kept rooting for him. Because also, when he's in the institution and the woman is being attacked, he does have, and again, they don't lean into it enough, but he does also have that kind of anti-hero moment there where you're rooting for him to kill those guys too. And it's like, I think a whole movie of that would have been really interesting. This one obviously doesn't continue it,
in that instance, you're rooting for him to kill those guys because they're terrible guys. He does not kill those guys because of what they're doing to that woman. He kills those guys because they touch his shit. They touch his masks.
No, I agree. But I do think that, like, I think it would be interesting if we didn't know. You know what I mean? Like, if there was a circumstance like that for every death for an entire movie, I think that would be really cool.
All I've heard so far is, you know what would be a really good movie if it wasn't the fucking movie that it is.
That's also how I feel about Halloween Ends, though.
You know, it's like, if it wasn't the movie that it is, it would be really good. But it is what it is, and it's not good.
But that's how I feel about Halloween Ends, too, where it gave me a lot of really interesting premises, but it wasn't any of those things, you know? Which is, honestly, it's why they're right next to each other in my rankings, because I can appreciate the areas that Rob Zombie's Halloween had to explore, while also acknowledging that they were not explored well.
That's my thing with Ends too, Rob. Now we mentioned it earlier. What say you to that? Because they did something different here. He told his own story.
They did do something different here.
Honestly, this might piss you off, but I respect what Rob Zombie did way more than I respect what they did in Halloween Ends, because Rob Zombie came out and said, look, this is a remake. This isn't a continuation. It's not a prequel or sequel or a requel, rather. It is my story of Michael Myers. Nothing to do with the original. 2018 Kills and Ends is a continuation of John Carpenter's Halloween. And I don't like how they continued that story. At least Rob Zombie did his own thing.
I think that Ends is far more interesting than what we get here. Because all we get here is the stuff that is gaps filled in that were left for a reason in 1978. We weren't given this all backstory bullshit information about Michael Myers in 1978 because it's scarier if we don't fucking know it.
That's a fair point.
In Ends, they're exploring. I think I said once about maybe it was Kills. I think I when we talked about Kills, I called it. It was a movie where we finally got to see Haddonfield's story. What I didn't realize was a year later, or well, 2 years later, because of the pandemic, whatever the fuck it was, we ended up actually getting Haddonfield's story in Halloween Ends. And that is far more interesting to me than anything that Rob Zombie fucking leeches out of the trailer park. Because it's fundamentally changes the character of Michael Myers, is what he's done. He has taken, Michael Myers grew up in a middle-class, regular fucking home in the suburbs in Haddonfield, Illinois. And that's what makes it so scary. There's no reason for it. Now he's given us all this backstory, and we have all this reason for it, and he's just another fucking white trash fucking guy who snapped.
Yes, but and I always say that it's my argument with Blair Witch all the time. Like I really like how they don't give you something and let your imagination work with it. You are right about that. It's 100% right. The for that character of 1978's Michael Myers. That character makes perfect sense with the comes up in a regular household, no fucked up shit. Perfect. But he gave what he did in this, and I'm not saying it's better, but what he gave you and what happened was he made his own Michael Myers. And you know what, man? As much as I do prefer original Michael Myers, man, this motherfucker was deadly. And he was this big motherfucker who is going to be as brutal as possible. And he was a monster. And I don't know, man. I think
somehow is more, he is less interesting to me than the Michael Myers that we get in the other films that we don't know anything about.
That's very fair. That's very fair. But he's more brutal. And again, that was, I say,
but that was never Michael's thing. Michael's not that guy. He's not Jason.
But
he's
made
not
his
that
own
brutal
Myers.
guy. He fucking stalks you. It's a cat and mouse game with Michael Myers. That's what's always made him so scary and so interesting.
I agree with you.
You don't see, here's the thing. You don't get to have it both ways, in my opinion. You don't get to say, oh, this is my version of Michael Myers. This is my movie, my own creation. And then throw the Halloween name on it to get the box office and everything else and all the attention that it gets. And then say, well, you can't compare it to what the original was. Fuck that. If you call it Halloween and you call the killer Michael Myers and you call the final girl Laurie Strode, I'm going to compare it to 1978. And you better give me something fucking good.
hang on. Because I just want to throw this in here. I actually really, I wish that we lived in a world where we didn't have as many remakes, where we just all pulled Aronofsky's and were like, "Hey, I'm stealing this for my own story." I'm stealing the one element that works and I'm calling it something different, and we can all live with it. Like that would be great. But in a world where studios will really only put real money behind remakes, I actually have a weird respect for Rob Zombie and the way he approached Halloween, where because that was pretty much his attitude going in to the remake. It was like, I have this story that I'm stealing the Halloween name and stuff, but I'm not going to do that because that's already been done. Like he acknowledged that was like it was peak Halloween. They'd already done it. He did something else. And you know, if that's how you have to get a movie made, I respect that approach to it. You know what I mean?
That's fine. And I do too. I always say this, a remake has to be like a cover song to me. The best cover songs aren't the ones that are done note for note. They're not, they're not Psycho 98 or whatever fucking year that piece of shit came out, where they're shot for shot. It has to be something different. You have to put your own spin on it. I get that. But in my opinion, you never, ever get to tell me I cannot compare it to the original. Because everyone's going to compare it to the original.
Fuck, I should have picked Psycho remake. Damn. All right, next year.
We would have bullied you.
Look, Rob, you're right. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue with a word you say because you're right. I can't argue with it. I agree with you. But he did his own thing, man. And this understanding came from, and as you know, me and Barbie, fucking movie. Me and Bobby would argue about this constantly. We had a whole Halloween showdown about it, where we argued the original and the Rob Zombie. And Bobby thought the Rob Zombie movie was better than the original.
Bobby was dropped on his head a lot as a small child. I can't help that.
I think it was more he ran into stuff. No,
whatever it might be.
Yeah, he was at first. But no, and I'm not gonna agree with. But hearing him talk about it as often as he did, man, he brought up some good points. Rob Zombie he is not recreating Halloween as we know it. It's Rob Zombie's Halloween. That's the name of it. And you know what, man? I'm glad he did it.
I think the cover song is a really good comparison because it's like the best cover songs are the ones like let's talk about Johnny Cash's Hurt for a second, right?
Sure.
One of the best cover songs
Great
of all
cover.
time. It takes like the lyrics and the emotion of an industrial metal song and it turned it into something that still has that emotion, those great words for people that don't like Nine Inch Nails, like because it's a different kind of music. And I think that's great. In a way, I really do feel like that's what Rob Zombie did. He took the Michael Myers character and he made him for something that likes a different brand of horror movie. Like this is that redneck, twisted, backwoods style Michael Myers, which I'm never going to be the person to argue that that's better than the slow, suspenseful Halloween, but it is for people that like that kind of movie better,
But okay, so
it's effective, I think.
Different doesn't always equal good.
No. Well,
all right.
You're right.
And yes, Johnny Cash took Hurt by Nine Inch Nails and stripped it down and it kept all the emotion and everything that was there because Johnny Cash was one of the greatest singers ever. Rob Zombie is not one of the greatest filmmakers ever, not by a long fucking shot. And he missed the mark here because he stripped everything away from these characters and gave us shit back.
I don't think
this is a polka cover of Nine Inch Nails Hurt.
I'd listen to a polka cover of Nine Inch Nails
I mean,
Hurt,
you're comparing Johnny Cash's 9 Inch Hurt to like a fucking bar band playing it. It's not the same.
Well,
but I do agree with you on that because I played, on Killer Bees. Remember, I played that cover of Gin and Juice that one time.
God damn it, Rob.
I was the only one to bring a hip hop song that time.
No, you weren't. God damn you. I can't disagree with anything you're saying, man. But he didn't attempt that. Like he didn't even try. And you know what? I'll say this though. And it kind of pisses me off a little bit. Because, you get the Young Myers stuff, which I love too, by the way. That was great. But he gave you all of that, and he got it out of the way. And that scene where the girls were walking home from school, dude, that looked like Halloween 78.
I think that's the thing. He didn't bring the emotion
Oh yeah.
from Halloween, but he brought that visual element. He brought the stalking. He did bring a lot of, and he explained it a lot, which was a choice that was made. But he brought a lot of the things that were most unsettling about Michael Myers, uh, in a way that was more straightforward, which I think is very on brand, both for Rob Zombie and that kind of slasher film,
I don't remember if I had this in the fun facts about this movie or not, Mikey, but part of the reason that looks like Halloween 1978 when they're walking down the street was filmed in the same location.
Yeah, but the angles he used from across the street, and the cemetery scene as well. But that was right after when the girls were walking home. It had that shine to it where it looked like Halloween 78. And he had, the few shots of Myers staring at him. And the problem is those felt thrown in there because they had to be in there at that point, because everything else was so different.
And I just want to throw that in there as well in terms of like having to throw stuff in there, because since then, there have been a lot of remakes where they're like, oh, we're doing our own thing. They've kind of used that approach, and then they've not paid any kind of respect to the original whatsoever. I know I complain about it all the time, but Black Christmas 2019, I think, is a really good example of this, where it was just like, oh, I'm doing my own thing. But it's a creepy cult, and I'm not going to have any shots or allusions or homages or anything to Black Christmas. Whereas, like, Rob Zombie, even though he did, we've been talking so much about him doing this as his own story and stuff, but those, I like those shots. Those are some of my favorite shots in the movie, are the ones where he does remember that this is at its heart supposed to be,
I wish he did it more. Yeah. No, it needed to be in there. Absolutely. But he didn't balance it. It was the beginning with the kid, and then Michael Myers the way he was the rest of the movie, which was nothing, so it was a weird balance. I wish maybe if the balance was better, it would come across better. But that I'm just saying he was able to achieve that. Like, he did it.
It has its moments. Like, you can tell that he was trying to.
Yeah, and he achieved it. Small spots, sure. Honestly, that's really the only time it felt that way. I mean, maybe they recreated the whole Bob thing with the ghost. That was nice that it was in there. He tried, Rob. I mean, he did his own thing, but at least, like Kat said, he respected it enough to put it in there, and he did it well when he did do that. Will you give him that at least?
No.
What? Really?
Don't be under the illusion that I have to give anything to this movie.
Come on.
This movie didn't earn anything.
It earned that.
No, it didn't. I didn't like any of it because, again, he does the Bob thing, which is fine, but for some reason he moves it from the Wallace house to the Myers house. So once again, instead of being in a normal suburban household setting, we're now in this decrepit, rundown, rat-infested fucking building where all this is happening. He can't get out of his own fucking way sometimes. He just has to cover everything in a layer of dirt and grime constantly, and it's fucking annoying.
It is really annoying. And this is going to be, because I just have a really tough time with this. The dichotomy, I talked about how interesting it would be to see that dichotomy of like how Michael Myers grew up and how his formative years were spent in an abusive household with the shitty stepdad and everything. But then see how Laurie grew up being adopted and, that life that was better for her, seeing Michael try to drag her back. Like, it could have been really interesting. But also, even in lack of that, right? Like, even the fact that Laurie's friends at school are like, oh, you're such a saint and like you never do anything bad and stuff. works against itself so hard with the way that Lori acts on screen, like in the way that she's portrayed. You know, we're supposed to think that she's good because she doesn't like lying and has never had a boyfriend, but she will just start her day with the fucking bagel thing. Like, that paints such a starkly different picture of Lori than the impression that we're supposed to have of her. And that, I think, is just all the way around one of the biggest missteps of the movie, you know. And it's the same way it's like Rob said, there's that layer of dirt and grime that has to be over everything, and I think that's really apparent in the dialogue, where it's just like he doesn't know how to do a normal suburban conversation or look, or there was nothing to compare it to because the whole world is like that through Rob Zombie's eyes.
Yeah, Mikey. I mean, come on. The man had Laurie Strode finger banging a bagel at dinner, or at breakfast, rather. I mean, come on.
I didn't see that as that big of a deal. I mean, she's a high school kid with a shitty sense of humor.
It's the most obvious example.
And one high school kid in 2007 walks down the street and says, hey, why don't we flash them some snatch or whatever that girl said. What the fuck?
I mean, it didn't bother me. Like, they're high school kids. Like, I was in high school. I said a lot of dumb shit. All my friends said a lot of dumb shit. I don't, you know, it didn't. It wasn't that bad of a, like, that. I didn't think of the bagel thing.
You're defending this movie saying dumb shit hasn't ended.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
It doesn't bother you at all? Just that they're like, this kind of vulgarity is the way that Michael Myers is the way that he is, but then that kind of vulgarity is like everywhere. Like, that didn't
I don't think it was
lessen that message for you.
I would never ever compare the breakfast scene at the beginning of this movie to Laurie Strode fingering a bagel.
So I wouldn't compare them in terms of like discomfort to be at for a full meal, but I would definitely look at the bagel scene with Laurie and be like, oh, well, it fucking makes sense. Look at her relatives, you know, like there's a comparison to be made there.
I mean, I didn't see it. I mean, and she was like the shyer one of her friends, and I mean,
no, they told us she was the shyer one of her friends. We don't get to see that.
Yeah, when they were walking home and the one girl's talking crazy, she's telling her to stop. Yeah, I mean, she didn't, you know, she was playing with the kid while she was babysitting. Like, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary of her.
That was not Laurie Strode in this movie.
No, wait. So what? That wasn't Laurie, the one in the middle walking home?
None of it. None of it was Laurie Strode in this movie. I'm saying Rob Zombie fundamentally does not understand Laurie Strode.
I was going to say, how much this shit did I put in there? Fucking vodka.
He doesn't know his own Laurie Strode either, because like, and that's one of the biggest, like, the bagel scene that we keep talking about is because it's just the most obvious example of it, but she's very foul-mouthed. She's very, like, defensive. She's kind of shallow. There are so many things about Laurie Strode where it's like they're telling us instead of showing us, which is like a big 101 don't fuck this up in screenwriting lesson. We need to see who the character is, and we have a bunch of people come up and tell us, oh, Laurie, you know, you're such a fucking dipshit wet blanket, or whatever nonsense they say in Rob Zombie dialogue. But it's like, they can tell us that she's no fun and that she's more like respectable or whatever than her friends, but until we see that, it's not true for us as the audience. Like, there was a huge dissonance between the way that they were trying to describe her and what we see on screen.
I didn't see anything. I just don't see that. I never even thought of that. Like, she was just a regular high school girl in 2007 to me. I didn't think anything of it. Like, I went in 2007, I was going to high school with girls like her. Like, yeah, it didn't seem out of the ordinary to me. And she didn't do, like I said, she was.
But
like,
that's the thing, though. You may have been going to high school with girls like that, but that is not the girl that we are told that she is.
Yeah, that's
because
you
also went to high school with girls who were quote unquote good girls and straight A students and shit. And that's what we're constantly being told Laurie is.
But what did she do throughout other than a bagel scene and a few curses? Like, what did she do? Like, she wasn't with a dude or anything, or like, she didn't do anything. She was with her parents putting up Halloween decorations.
Okay, but like, it's frustrating because it is so easy to point to the bagel scene. the good girls that I knew that went to my school would never talk that way in front of their parents, like slipping dropping a few F-bombs or whatever in class or with your friends, especially like walking home into school. That's different, but like actively antagonizing your mother, and also just like the crudeness of a molestation joke generally, and it's a lack of sympathy for other people. Like, she doesn't have that empathetic nature. And it's not the most egregious thing in the world to make an off-color joke. I agree, but there's nothing that she does that balances that out to show us that she's a good person. And she's not like, we can see that the kids are enjoying themselves, with her. It's not, because she's like a fun, cool babysitter or whatever, but we never get to see her like, she doesn't have that maternal instinct that we see Laurie Strode have in the original, which would balance out a lot of the damage. If we see her doing like better deeds throughout this, I think it would have helped. But just based off of what we see of her, she doesn't fit that archetype.
Yeah, I mean, she's talking about that guy from the hardware store like he's Freddy Krueger or something.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like she was,
Rob.
timid and you stop. Yeah, I just took from it like, the scene of her sitting on the porch with her parents talking, like that's a super fucking white thing to do. Like I don't know, shit like that. Like I never seen it. That didn't come off to me. But no, I'm not gonna say she was the original Laurie Strode or anything. She was far from that, but that movie came out in 1978. This came out in 2007. So yeah, she wasn't as bland, I guess the character's supposed to be.
Laurie wasn't as bland in the original, by the way, as everybody always talks about her being.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean, like
we see Laurie smoking
goody,
some pot.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that goody, whatever. Yeah, she was smoking pot in the fucking. I don't know. I just never seen that.
I don't know. Here's the thing is that like the original Laurie Strode, and they can be two different people and they can be adjusted to their era, but like in 78, Laurie Strode, as we see her on screen, I would trust with my children. 2007 Laurie Strode, in her time, I'm in 2007, I do not trust her with my children. Like there's a vibe difference that is substantial.
To me, I think the best way to sort of describe it is it's almost like a maturity thing. Like Laurie in 1978 feels very mature for her age.
Yes.
This Laurie does not.
No, she doesn't. No, she seems like a regular run-of-the-mill.
Or even maybe a little bit younger, like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, but she's constantly being talked about as if she is this on-the-ball, mature person that we don't see.
And that's the thing. If like, okay, so 2007, let's say, for the sake of argument, this is, I also feel like Haddonfield was supposed to be kind of like a more upstanding town anyway. But like, let's just say, for the sake of argument, this is what everyone is like in Haddonfield, 2007 era. Like they nailed it 100%. I'm fine that this is Laurie Strode. Like that doesn't bother me. Because that it's fine to let high school girls in movies be typical high school girls. My issue is that they keep telling us that she's not a typical high school girl, but then they show her being that. Like if that had not been a part of her character, it wouldn't have bothered me,
There's one character in this movie that I really do like, that what Rob Zombie did with him. I think that I think this Dr. Loomis is infinitely more interesting than the one that we get in John Carpenter's film.
He's much more involved, yeah.
This Dr. Loomis,
yeah,
so much.
And I also know that going into Halloween 2, he becomes much more interesting. Yeah. But I think that even in this film, just looking at the 2007 film, I just think that I love the arc that he sends Dr. Loomis on. The character development, I think, is handled really well. And I just think it's really interesting what he did with the character.
I absolutely agree. And the performance, you can't do like a side-by-side of these two performances because the arcs are very different already. But I do think that for the story that they're telling for Dr. Loomis, the performance is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's Malcolm McDowell.
Best casting in the whole movie.
Yeah. And I think he's terrific, and I do really like the way that the character goes. I like where the character diverges from what we got in the original film, but I think it goes along. One, I think the path that the character takes is realistic enough for me to go along on that journey with.
Yeah.
I find that what he did with Dr. Loomis to be really, really interesting. The fact that he wrote a book and everything, and he gives up on Michael at one point. I mean, in the original movie, he does too, sort of, but he's always kind of there to keep an eye on Michael. And this Dr. Loomis sort of throws his hands up and says, "I'm done. I can't do this."
Which I do think is more realistic, and I think it makes it, especially because then we see how Dr. Loomis still kind of, even once he's given up, he's still kind of making a name for himself off of this case. And it makes it leaves that little bit of uncertainty when he shows back up as to like what his intentions really are, without overstepping it, because
Yeah.
I think it would have been really easy for Rob Zombie specifically to make Dr. Loomis another person in Michael's life who is terrible and shitty and abusive to him. And
Mhm.
they landed on a really subtle note for him, which I really appreciated.
Yeah. I think he does well, and I like the character that Danny Trejo plays too.
Danny Trejo
Yeah.
is also really good in this.
Yeah, the guy who's trying to, and every time he would come on screen, I'd be like, "Oh man, those tacos were so good." But yeah, I like that. I like that the character that he plays, and a lot of people didn't like this, but I love the fact that Michael kills him anyway.
Yes, that is.
Yeah.
So I talked about how I think an interesting alternative to this would have been for Michael to, like, for us to root for him the whole time. I think one of the instances where it works really well is that transition where we see someone who is as close as Michael has to a friend just get caught in the crossfire immediately, where it's like, okay, this is the evil, this is the whole blackness behind the eyes kind of Michael Myers that we've been expecting. Like,
Mhm.
it was a good subversion of what we expected.
Although it does beg a question: the people who swear that Stu is still alive in Scream, do they think that Danny Trejo's character is still alive
Facts.
in this movie too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I assume.
Yeah.
And think about this too. That's another part. Danny Trejo was great. He always is. Man, Dee Wallace is a fucking goddess. Like, isn't she?
Yes.
Dee
I
Wallace is
absolutely.
really good. She's a very small role in this movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like seeing her get killed. I mean, it was just one, it was
is
just
really sad to
unpleasant, but
see Dee Wallace
know.
get killed.
yeah, not fun.
But she did a great job.
She always does. And I don't know what it might be. Her level of comfort in a movie or as an actor is like, it's just, I don't know. She's just perfect. She's a perfect actress. Like, she just seems so natural. Everything she does seems natural and always does. Like, she is just, if anyone who is interested in acting, look at Dee Wallace.
Look, this entire cast, I have no complaints about the casting. I mean, I
Yeah.
think everybody's good. Danielle Harris is great. I
Sid
like Scout
Haig.
Taylor Compton as an actress. I think she's really good. Unfortunately, this is probably the thing she's most noted for, which is unfortunate for her.
I will say, I don't know if it's the script. I did not like her performance.
Mhm.
Which is not to say I don't think I'm sure she's a very talented actress. I can't actually think of anything else she's been in.
She's been in a lot of nothing movies since this, straight to streaming stuff.
But this was not, I did not believe this character from her.
Right. All right. Well, Brad Dourif, and I'm drunk. Dourif is really good as Sheriff
Yeah.
Brackett.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of talent in this cast, which makes this movie all the more frustrating because you have all this talent, and this is what you give them to do. Just
Yeah.
swear at each other and be assholes. Great.
I'm not mad at it, man. Bill Moseley was in this. Sid Haig was in it.
Or that's the other thing, though. You got all this talent and you give them literally nothing to do, like Sid Haig. Like, he just gets a cameo. Dee Wallace barely has a character in this movie. It's paper thin. She gives it something because she's so talented, but there's just not a lot there. And everybody else just gets the Rob Zombie treatment.
Nah, I mean, that's true. It's true. But I mean, he put together something, man.
We agree on that. He put together something.
He put together something.
Rob will admit this is a movie, unlike Skinamarink.
This is a movie. There are characters who say things. Yes.
There wasn't an abundance of Legos either in this.
It's not just shots of random walls and ceilings.
I don't know, man. There's a couple scenes I wanted to mention real quick that I just think that was great for one way or another. The scene with the mother Sherry Moon Zombie, obviously also in this, her shooting herself, dude, that was so fucking good. Because then you see her on the bed with the gun, and it flashes to young Michael Myers, and then you hear the gun go off and the baby crying. Dude, he can set Rob Zombie should get more credit for being a better movie maker, man. Because, like, yeah, his range is non-existent. Sure.
Well done.
Right. Like, he can make a fucking movie.
I give you credit for that. Technically, he makes a great movie.
Yeah.
He can't write one to save his fucking life, though.
That's maybe what we should see is more Rob Zombie directed films he didn't write.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. I won't disagree with
I
that.
love that because he's very, I was going to save this for the end, but I'll just say it now. He's very good at what he does. It's just that what he does sucks.
It doesn't suck. It sucks when it's thrown everywhere, like in a movie like Halloween, sure. But dude, like Devil's Rejects
sucks. I hate that movie.
No, you're wrong. Devil's Rejects is loved. But that House of a Thousand Corpses,
terrible movie.
I wouldn't want anyone else to write those movies.
I wouldn't want anybody to write them, but somebody did, unfortunately.
No, those were like those were his, like those were his babies.
Mm-hmm.
Something like Halloween, Salem's, all that stuff. Like, yeah, that could have used definitely that he could have used help with that in those areas for sure. But I'm not saying it never works. It's just like you're not going to want to see a ton of movies like that.
He does do something in his movies that I hate, but I do think is interesting. And that is that he probably more than anyone else who makes horror films finds a way to find sympathy for his villain, which is interesting.
It's very interesting. And that's what I would love to see next from Rob Zombie. Like, it's too late. Halloween has been made. Halloween 2 has been made. We didn't get that. What I would love to see is a focus on that sympathy in a way that's still scary, because I there should be other people to root for, Devil's Rejects is the closest, I think, but we don't have anyone to root for, we just feel bad.
What I hate about it is that he has sympathy for these characters and he tries to, I don't know, manipulate or force me into feeling sympathy for them too. And
yes,
I don't want that.
I see, and I wouldn't even care if because he does kind of fall into this trap where it's like, because he's trying to trick you into feeling bad for them also, he does this by making the characters that should be likable worse, so that it's just kind of a middle ground for everyone. I would love to see a more interesting contrast where not everything sucks, but we still feel bad for the villain. Because I do think sympathy for the villain, it's something that's really hard to achieve, but Rob Zombie he's good at it. It's the thing that he does.
Well, I think he genuinely feels that for these characters that he's written.
He does.
Yeah,
man.
I think he does.
And it comes through in the movies. That does come through. And again, I don't know that I like it, but I do find it interesting because you don't really see it anyplace else. I mean, even a movie like Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, right? There's no sympathy for Henry in that fucking movie.
No.
So I think it's really interesting that he approaches his characters in that way.
I like it, man, because you know what? There's nothing wrong with, because you never see it. So why not do it? Like, it makes perfect sense. And there's nothing wrong with it, man. Like, obviously, yeah, Michael Myers is a fucked up person, like, for sure. Like, he's not, you're not supposed to feel bad, but there's nothing wrong with showing the emotional side of that character. And I think the best example is what I mentioned earlier. It's when he finally gets Lori and he kidnaps her, whatever he does, which, was weird. But he got her. He murdered her wherever he was bringing her. and he shows her the picture of him holding her as a baby, and she's just screaming at him to leave her alone. Well, you got to think about that, man. All that time, all those years he was in that mental hospital, wherever it was, he's obviously thinking of her and only her. Like she's been on his mind so strongly. And after he committed the first murders as a kid, he's holding her and he's being nice to her. He loved that. Even in the breakfast scene, he was being nice to her. And she's just screaming at, he's finally got her, man. That's all he wanted that whole time, was to get his little sister back. And it's a sick and fucking twisted, sure. But it happened, and she's just screaming at him to leave her alone. She doesn't understand, like, what the fuck's going on. And she doesn't care, rightfully so. That emotion's there. Just because he's a bad guy doesn't mean there's not an emotion there. And it was cool to see that, man. Like, the dude's wearing a mask. Tyler Mane's wearing a mask. And you could see that emotion in his eyes, that he was hurt by her doing that. You know, like that was a dope ass fucking scene, man. I'm not mad at it at all.
No, I thought that was a dumb scene. I don't like it.
That ending went on way too long, though, is another thing.
Way and it was confusing. She was fucking running through the walls in the house and shit. What the fuck?
That movie should have ended similar to the way the original Halloween did, where I don't know why she went. This Laurie Strode picked the worst fucking hiding spots ever. Her answer when Michael Myers broke into the house, or was in the house, whatever. Oh yeah, when he kidnapped her. Run up to the bathroom upstairs with a glass door and hide in a bathtub. It's not a fucking earthquake, man. It's Michael Myers.
If we had chosen Rob Zombie's Laurie Strode for the bracket, she would have died to Jeremy Melton. I believe that.
Yeah. And then at the end, she goes in a pool. Why? He can slide in anyway. Like, you're literally surrounded with opportunity of this motherfucker to get you.
You're literally running into a hole in the ground.
Literally, she picked a bathtub twice, essentially. She picked a bigger bathtub at the end. But the movie, I felt, after Loomis shot him, I thought that was really good, too. It built perfectly. And they get out of the pool, Laurie and Loomis, and the body's gone. End the fucking movie there.
That was the perfect ending spot for this movie.
No, but we had to go through it all again.
Yeah, that was unnecessary. Yeah. Completely unnecessary.
I didn't like him taking Laurie back to the Myers house. I didn't either. I didn't like any of that, whatever. Also, what the fuck are they giving the patients at Smith's Grove? Did they mix up his medication and shoot him up with steroids the whole time he was there?
Big motherfucker, huh?
Jesus Christ.
He's a big boy. And the whole, the rape scene, entirely unnecessary.
No, not needed. Not needed one goddamn bit. That we had already seen this character was an asshole. This character could have come back to fuck with him for whatever reason.
Yes.
Because he's an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And he could have gotten killed. And we didn't need any of that. That's just more gratuitous Rob Zombie bullshit.
See, that was insanely gratuitous. That's probably the best example of something not needed. The beginning of this movie that we talked about already, the whole breakfast scene at the beginning, that was fucked up, but it wasn't that fucked up. But still, it was fucked up. But there was a reason for it.
Yeah, I will say I 100% agree with you, Mikey, in that regard, because I do see that criticism of this a lot, where it's like,
and it's right,
where people bring up the beginning of this movie as Rob Zombie being, overindulgent and excessive and just doing stuff for the sake of making redneck characters. But I honestly believe that the beginning, more than anything else, was necessary to the story he was trying to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can like it or dislike it, but it was needed for this.
I do feel like it's too much. It didn't need to be that.
Well,
I thought it was good.
I think if he had toned it down, he would have had to tone down everything else in the movie as well, because the movie being as grimy as it was, like Laurie and the high school and especially at the hospital, everyone being as big of an assholes as they are, going that above and beyond in the opening was the only way to make it stand out.
Yeah, that's fine. But you know what? If everything else is toned down, I'm fine with that. We may have a better movie.
I agree. But, if you take this movie, if you reverse engineered this film, and you started with the last scene and you worked your way back, and it's like, okay, now write a breakfast scene that makes these guys really seem like assholes in comparison to everything else. Nailed it. Like,
I think part of the reason too the rape scene doesn't get brought up as much as the breakfast scene is. The breakfast scene's in every cut. The rape scene is not in the theatrical cut. It was added back in for the director's cut.
I actually did not see it the first few times I saw this, I think.
Yeah.
Unnecessary. And you're using something that like Last House on the Left's a good example. I don't like it. I won't watch it. I can't watch it. That's one of the scenes like I just can't sit and watch.
Yeah.
Which, is an attribute to what they were doing, sure, but it had a meaning. It served a purpose. This was just there. Like Rob said, if you're gonna go and fuck with him, you could literally do it for nothing. They're on a night shift fucking with people.
Right. The guy's just a fucking asshole. He could just show up drunk being a fucking asshole.
Yes.
Yeah. Or he could just be doing his job. Michael Myers could remember the threat from earlier,
Right.
Or another really interesting thing could have been like, it could have hit the subversion harder of Danny Trejo's death, because if he's being an asshole to Danny Trejo, and we think Danny Trejo and Michael are friends, and then he comes in, Michael kills him, and you're like, oh shit, he remembers his friend, and then Danny Trejo comes along and Michael kills him too, and you're like, whoa,
right.
Like that would have been a really good surprising moment that would have had a shock value much more effective than the shock of, oh look, the woman is in danger. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Very gratuitous and unnecessary.
He wants to make his own version of Halloween and change things up. And one of the changes that he makes is he takes the stupidest plot point of Halloween 2 and moves it into Halloween 1. And then not only does he do that, but he makes it more convoluted with this whole backstory about Brackett taking the baby to another town, to an emergency room.
And then
somehow it's magically adopted and brought back to Haddonfield. Like, it's so fucking convoluted and weird.
I will say I'm of the unpopular opinion. I do really like the concept of Michael and Laurie being related.
No.
Hear me out. I was fine when they dropped it in the Halloween, like that. I'm glad that they struck it from the canon, but on paper, I thought it was fine in Halloween 2, and I really liked that Rob Zombie explored that. I do think he did it in a really dumb way, because I like that familial connection gave Michael Myers something to be invested in. It confirmed that he was coming back for Laurie. I think it was really interesting, but it was convoluted as fuck. Like, man, and then they didn't do anything with he had it set up to do the disparity of upbringings, whereas, and he didn't, because everyone's a redneck everywhere in Haddonfield.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. But
this movie
on paper,
does that to people.
I think it works.
This movie does that to people. I'm drinking fucking Mountain Dew and tequila right now.
Yeah. One last scene I wanted to bring up was the scene where Michael Myers snaps as a kid in the mental hospital. Great, man. Like, the sirens going off, you see everybody screaming at him, and all you hear is the siren, but you can't hear. And that was like he made a great movie. Whether you like what he did.
Okay, we escalated there, because I thought we were all I thought, Mikey, I thought you and I were on the same page about this being a fine movie to watch, and then Rob was being a little bit harsh to it. A great movie might be a stretch.
Look, everything what he did with Halloween stripped from this, which I understand you can't do, but I'm saying just as a movie, what he put together, it was great.
It's a bunch of redneck bullshit, Mikey. It's not great.
I could get to good, maybe. It was good as not a Halloween film. I don't know if great. I don't know if we should be throwing that word around.
One of the biggest crimes of the horror genre, is that he didn't just make his own fucking thing with this, because we could have had some really cool shit. Still to this day, maybe, probably.
A whole nother franchise I would want nothing to do with.
Well, you don't want nothing to do with Terrifier.
I would watch the hell out of this before I sat down for another Conjuring movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's nothing like anything else.
But what about Insidious, Cat?
Neck and neck. I would watch Rob Zombie's Halloween franchise. Like, if they were still making these today, I would probably go to that before I went to Insidious, because all the Insidious movies really bleed together for me. I don't even know how many I've seen.
Mhm.
Rob
I had
Zombie's
a very
Halloween
similar
2
problem.
is very different than Rob Zombie's Halloween. If everyone was that different, it would be a mystery bag. I would never know what I was walking into, and honestly, I love it.
That fucking horse in that second one, man. Jesus Christ. Can't get over it. All right. Do you guys want to get to facts and stuff and reviews?
Yeah, sure. I'm good.
Rob, anything else you want to say?
This sucks.
All right. Good. I'll add to that.
And where are my balls?
All right. Now you're done. All right, Kat. What are the reviews looking like?
All right, starting with Rotten Tomatoes, this has a critic official tomato meter at 28%. It has an audience score of 59%.
Wow.
IMDb has this at a 6 out of 10, even 6. So,
Ooh.
this is one I had a lot of options for reviews. I'm going to start with one. You guys can guess the score for this if you want, but I really pulled this one for a candy bar. We haven't had a candy bar in a while, so and I think it's not going to be too difficult to get one here. This one opens quite well. ... I don't know what that means. Reading the other views, it really makes me realize how many posers exist in the sad little world of ours. As a Hold on. Sorry. I might be a little bit too drunk to be reading this. As I begin with this pixelated comment/review, please give us a moment of silence to mourn the loss of intelligence in this world. If you are indeed a true fan, if you are indeed a true Halloween or even Friday the 13th fan, you may enjoy this film. It goes beyond regular slashing and screaming and blood and guts everywhere. It goes beyond stupidity. Rob Zombie obviously has not had the best of luck with the film industry, but this may be the film he needed to kickstart his directing career. Pleasantly mixing the slasher, horror, a bit of gore, and an in-depth look at Michael, I can appreciate this movie and am proud to say that I enjoyed it.
Wow.
Halloween 2007 could and will never replace the original Halloween, but it is a wonderful, enjoyable remake. What I enjoyed most is it gives you a small, yet slightly disturbing glimpse into the mind of Michael. My thoughts exactly, I recommend only if, you are a true Halloween fan. If you dislike this movie, that is your choice, but do not insult something that is simply different or more in-depth.
Oh, boy.
That motherfucker can have a whole case of candy bars.
Well,
I'll load them up one by one for him.
Well, look, he's not necessarily wrong.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's true. I'm not saying it's for the better, but they did go into more. I mean, it's kind of true. Tell me it's not.
They went into more. You're right.
Again, I'm not saying it's for the better. I'm not saying that.
They went into more. You're
They
right.
did. It was in depth. That it was.
I will agree with you on that statement just as much as I agree with you when you say this is something.
It's something. Again, not for the better, but they did go into some shit. All right. So, are there any more reviews, Scott?
Yeah. This, by the way, would anyone like to guess the ratings for this? Out of 10, out of the IMDb's 10
like an
stars.
8. I think he gave it a 10.
Yeah.
Right in between the two with a 9 stars out of 10.
I'm drunk enough I couldn't figure out what was between 8 and 10.
You're between 8 and 10 drunk.
she said right in between. I was like, 6?
4.
And then she said 9. And I was like, oh, yeah.
We have another one here on the other side of the spectrum, but also very pretentious. So this is one that I think Rob will either give a candy bar to or has written himself. I don't know.
God damn.
Could go either way. This one is titled, Should Be Required Viewing in Film School for What Does Not Work.
Oh, I don't
and
care
it,
for that title. I don't like it when people do stuff like that. It's not funny. They
See,
think
that's-
it's funny, but it's not.
yeah, this is kind of it sets a good tone for the style of this review, which is why I think you might, even though I think you'll agree with a lot of the statements, I have a feeling you're not going to like the reviewer much. If I had a cool fake last name and a semi-successful pseudo-metal band in the 90s, maybe I would be approached to direct a quote-unquote retelling of a horror classic to make a ton of money for the studio. If I was, I would keep in mind all the elements that made Halloween 78 so popular and leave them how they were, such as a prolonged steady cam shots to give the sense from the shape's point of view, but minimal chilling soundtrack to add the tension, a brave heroine who is not a helpless idiot, and keeping the main antagonist off screen for at least the first half of the movie to build tension. This formula was great for horror and suspense movies such as Psycho, The Exorcist, Jaws, and the first Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and I would keep true to it in my Halloween remake. The only things I would fix in my retelling would be little things that my larger budget would certainly allow. I would make the sets of Haddonfield, Illinois in October look less like Southern California in April. My actresses portraying teenagers would not be in their late 20s or early 30s, and I would eliminate plot holes like in the plot, like the opening scene of Michael's sister making out with her boyfriend upstairs for only 40 seconds before he leaves, and the sheriff responding to a break-in at the hardware store during normal business hours. I would also pick a year that my remake was supposed to take place and stick to it. I would not confuse the audience by having people of the retro fashions and hairstyles driving pristine cars from the 60s and 70s and the kids on Stingray bikes that haven't been seen in 25 years, but at the same time, modern police cars and cell phones. I understand Rob Zombie's temptation to answer questions that all of us had about Michael Myers, such as why he is so intent on killing people and why does he insist on wearing a mask. The problem is in answering the questions and telling about Michael's background, Michael becomes more human and therefore less scary. Even Zombie's choice of explanation is suspect. The audience expects a tormented kid from a crappy home to turn out disturbed, but a bad kid from a seemingly normal home seems a lot scarier since it could happen to anyone. Not everyone in this movie is a completely inferior to the original, hence my rating of blank stars. The sets look 1,000 times better than the original. The actresses seem more believable than in the original, and we get to see a lot more of them. The new scene of Michael ripping up floorboards in his old house to get his knife and mask were pretty cool. Don't expect a lot from this movie, like being scared or entertained, but if you want to study what truly works in horror movies and what doesn't, this is mandatory viewing. When it comes to horror, less is more, since nothing is more powerful than the viewer's imagination. Remember that, Rob.
Yeah, Rob, remember that.
I didn't hate what he said, but a couple of things. First of all, don't make fun of Mr. Cummings for his stage name. I mean, that's just not right. A lot of people use stage names and stuff when they, especially when you're in a band. That happens a lot. Elton John's name wasn't Elton John. It certainly wasn't Elton Hercules John. He changed it to. And then also, you don't have to attack White Zombie. White Zombie has some good songs. Leave them out of it too.
He's talking about Michael Myers wearing a mask. Come on, man.
Well, look, here's one thing we didn't touch on is that the time period is confusing in this movie because he decided at some point to stick with the 63 to 78 time period, but to me it doesn't feel like that at all.
No, it doesn't.
So that's a complete fucking swing and miss on that, in my opinion. Like I don't think he really did a good job with that at all. So I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. The rest of what he said was fine, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of drunk. I don't really remember what he said now.
Good job, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all for the reviews, but I did pull just a couple extra titles, because I crossed a lot of just very fascinating review titles for this. My favorite of which, I'm actually going to start with my favorite because they get all kind of punny after this. But there's one just called Rob Zombie. I am a forgiving person, but this is going to take a very long time.
God damn. That's funny.
2 out of 10 rating. I was very amused. Someone called this, the only 10 out of 10 that I found for this called it the perfect horror film, which I thought was interesting.
They watched the wrong one. By the way, when I don't know if it does this all the time, but when I punched this up on IMDb earlier, it oftentimes it'll show like a clip of the movie or the trailer.
Yeah.
It was showing the trailer for the 1978 movie.
Whoops.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that happens all the time or not, but
good for Rob Zombie, I guess, right? You're going to be very surprised when you watch it, though.
That leads to this title. Did he even watch the real Halloween?
That's not fair.
Kind of funny, though.
I mean, it is funny, but it's not fair.
Don't fear this Reaper, but then they gave it an 8 out of 10, which... And then we have Hackoween, a terrifying experience.
It's funny.
And my other than the this is going to take a long time review. This was my favorite title, Halloween, another devil's reject.
I
just really appreciated some of the punnery going on
That's nice.
in the review titles. But yeah.
All right. I've got quite a few facts for this one.
Okay.
Were you done, by the way, Kat? It sounded like you were
I'm done.
finished. Okay. First of all, this was made for an estimated budget of $15 million. Its box office gross worldwide was $80.4 million.
Damn.
Huge success. William Forsythe had actually injured his leg prior to shooting, which is why his leg is in a cast in the film. In the script, the character only had an arm brace, but they just went ahead and worked his leg injury into it as well.
Huh.
Emma Stone auditioned for the role of Laurie Strode.
Oh my God.
I have a really hard time picturing that.
This would have been a better movie if Emma Stone was Laurie Strode, right?
I mean,
right?
I feel like Emma Stone is just doesn't mix with a Rob Zombie world.
I think that's the thing, is they would have had to tone it down at some point if she'd gotten it, right?
I don't think Rob Zombie gonna do it.
My guess is that's why she didn't get it. I mean, I think I would love to see a Halloween film where Emma Stone plays Laurie Strode. I think
that would be fantastic.
Great. It's just not this Halloween film.
No.
Rob Zombie revealed that making Halloween with the Weinsteins was a miserable experience. This is a quote. It was a miserable experience for me, and so I was very reticent to do the second one. I did do the second one, and I thought, okay, well, the first one was a miserable experience, but it did well, so maybe it'll be easier the second time. It was worse. Oh my God, I felt like they were trusting me they weren't trusting me on the first one because they wanted to make sure it was a hit, and now they weren't trusting me not to fuck up their hit.
It's amazing how they call it their hit too.
Yeah, which explains why there wasn't like a third Halloween film in this timeline. Like he was fucking done.
I don't blame him, man. He heard a lot of shit, and rightfully so. But like, who wants to deal with that shit? You know.
One thing that I talk a lot about this movie that I mentioned when I talk about this movie a lot, and I didn't talk about it at all, I don't think, tonight, is that it feels very uneven to me. It's like two different movies.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. In an interview, Zombie said he went into the meeting with the Weinsteins and he had two films in mind. One, the first one was just going to be Michael Myers in his childhood, and then the second one was going to be a remake of the 78 film. But they shot that idea down and forced him to combine the two.
That's stupid.
Yeah, so that's why it feels really, really disjointed.
I'm not mad at it because, I mean, could you imagine if he made a Michael Myers movie and you didn't even get to see Michael? I mean, you see Michael Myers as a kid. Nobody wants that. He would have heard a lot of shit for that.
It's the same thing with the Friday remake. Like they had to run through the first three films because you can't have a Friday the 13th remake and not have Jason in a hockey mask.
A studio won't want it. And, you know, like it makes sense.
The marketing is going to be all fucked up and everything.
Yeah.
else.
Oh yeah.
I found this extremely interesting because as I was watching the film this time, and I'd never noticed it before, I kept looking at this actor and going, who the fuck is this guy? And then I finally found out who it was, and I couldn't believe it. The actor who sells the gun to Malcolm McDowell's character in the gun shop is the Monkees drummer and singer Mickey Dolenz.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah. And I could not place the guy, and it was driving me crazy. It's only one quick scene. But I was like, who is that? I know that fucking guy, and I could not place him. And then I read that, and I was like, oh, of course.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
Rob Zombie.
Oh.
That was a hilarious scene, too, by the way.
Rob Zombie originally wanted Danielle Harris to play Laurie Strode and Sherry Moon Zombie to play Linda.
Oh, my God. No.
Yeah, that would have been a bad idea.
This is one of those things that I don't know whether I actually believe it or not, but apparently Malcolm McDowell claims he's never seen the original Halloween.
I've read that before. I don't know if it's true, but it
is.
is.
I don't know. It reeks of those people like, oh, I've never seen that. You know what I mean? Like, what? And if you haven't, Malcolm McDowell, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah, seriously. That's not a win. You don't brag about that.
Danielle Pennebaker auditioned for the role of Laurie Strode, and Scout Taylor Compton was cast instead. 2 years later, Pennebaker was cast as the female lead in the Friday the 13th remake, and Compton had auditioned for that role, but she lost out.
Probably because they saw her work in Halloween.
God damn.
This one's...
I don't think
I'm not exactly sure what to make of this. And it's not really about the movie, but I thought it was kind of an interesting story. Danielle Harris apparently went to a premiere after party, or an after premiere party, I guess, for Halloween Ends, and she saw Jamie Lee Curtis. So she went over to introduce herself and thought that they would, maybe bond over being veteran actors in the Halloween franchise. And apparently Jamie Lee Curtis brushed her off and said, "I've never seen those movies, and I don't know who you are."
Oh my God.
Savage.
Why though, man?
Because she's Jamie Lee Curtis. Fuck it. She can do what she wants.
She can do that, but fuck, for what? Damn. Wow. All right.
Although this film is a remake, Rob Zombie has said before that he personally does not like horror remakes.
I think that shows.
They considered John Hurt for the role of Dr. Loomis in this film. Maybe not a bad choice. This movie is said to have been the inspiration for 17-year-old Jacob Evans of Texas to kill his mother and sister in October of 2012. In his written confession, he claimed to have watched the movie 3 times the week of the murders. And he also wrote, "After I watched the movie, I put it back in the case and threw it in the trash can so that people wouldn't think that it influenced me in any way."
Oh.
I hate when stuff like that comes out, man. You can't blame media.
No. I never blame the movie or anything ever. But I also always find it interesting,
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's the whole basis for Scream.
Yeah, like I mean, if all it takes is a movie for somebody to do that, they're probably eventually going to do it. They'll find a reason eventually.
Right.
Yeah, like come on.
Christina Klebe, who plays Linda, took her father to the premiere of the film. She said it didn't bother her that her dad would see her completely naked in it because he's from Germany and nudity isn't a big deal for European. Still seems like an odd choice to me.
Did we get a follow-up story about that where it was like, anyway, I was disowned by my father and now
I know. I feel like it's still a weird choice, right?
Yeah.
She also said that she was a big fan of Brad Dourif's, and she was starstruck when she finally met him, and they both love to write poetry, so they spent a lot of time talking about that in between scenes.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Danny Trejo's death scene was cut from a work print because the studio complained about it. Rob Zombie had to fight with them. He said it was important to show how brutal and uncompassionate that Michael Myers was. And so he finally won, and he was able to put the scene back into the film. But they almost cut it. Which I think would have been a shame, because I think that's one of the strong points of the movie.
Yeah.
I do think it's a good scene, and I'm glad that it's back in. I do kind of wonder why they thought that's where the line was.
Right. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, when he says the studio, you're talking about Dimension, so you're dealing with the Weinsteins. They're fucking idiots.
Well, yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
A stunt woman was seriously injured in the balcony fall sequence at the end of the film, and Rob Zombie says that's why the film suddenly cuts to black, and so you don't see the actual landing.
I'd be mad. I mean, I fucking fell and hurt myself for nothing. Use that goddamn thing.
Some directors don't want to use that kind of stuff. Other people, like, the Exorcist director, whose name escapes me. Why is that?
Freaking.
Yeah, William Friedkin. He would love to put that shit in the movie.
Yeah, I would. Shit.
Yeah.
I'd be mad if I did it and got hurt and you didn't use it. I'd be like, well, if I got hurt for nothing.
Right.
That's the thing. If I were a stunt woman, I'd be like, if I ever die filming something, you better fucking use this footage.
Yeah.
That's my last request. I will haunt you, fucks. It's going in the movie.
Yeah, and die for nothing, man. Put it in there. Might as well now.
Yeah.
Just a couple of more. Deborah Myers is the only person to die in the film that's not killed by Michael Myers. She's also the only character in the entire Halloween saga to ever commit suicide.
Wow. Start.
And finally, the teenage version of Laurie Strode does not appear as the protagonist of the film until 52 minutes in.
All right. I'm not mad. I mean, look what he was doing. You know,
I mean, I just feel like that leads to the part of where it feels disjointed. Like you can almost tell where one movie ends and the other begins.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. But again, look what he was doing, though. You know.
I know.
Well,
Won't want to lose any of that.
All right, so that was it.
That's it.
Okay, so let's Portnoy this sumbitch and get on out of here. This should be interesting. Does anyone want to go first? I can go first.
Whatever you want to do, Mikey. It's your
I'll go
birthday.
first. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Boy. This one's hard. We talk about like some movies get like a grading scale in a way, kind of.
Uh-huh.
And this one, it gets a big grading scale, and not in a negative, in a positive way, rather. Because if I was just doing this movie, the movie, what was done, my score would be much higher.
Okay.
But you can't do that with this movie because it's a fucking Halloween. Like, out of all the things, touched royalty. You can't ignore that when giving a rating on it. At least I don't think you can.
You're right.
Yeah.
I might have to adjust mine, actually.
I mean, that's the way I see it personally, because it's got to affect
That is how we've been doing it.
Yeah, and again, it's Halloween.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, and not to piss Cat off, but it's not like, you know, House on Haunted Hill, where, you know, it's, you kind of, like, some of them don't affect it as much, at least for me, in my score. Something like this, Halloween remake would do the same thing, as well as Nightmare on Elm Street. This is royalty here. And it did the royalty dirty. But I still think he put together a really good movie. Visually, it was phenomenal. You know, like, was it perfect? No, but it's a good fucking time. A good part of this movie. Like, again, minus the scene we fucking mentioned earlier. But other than that, like, it's a dark movie. It's I'm gonna give it, for some reason this is yelling at me. I'm gonna give it a 5.4.
I'm gonna yell at you.
What else is new? Kat, you wanna?
I'm in the middle of adjusting my score if Rob wants
I can
to
go.
do
It's probably
his.
better if I go, so we don't end on a down note with Mikey crying on his birthday.
And you had I'm sorry, you had a 5.4?
5.4.
Okay.
So, this movie's not good. I don't think it's good as a Halloween movie, certainly, and as just its own thing, I don't even think it's good. Rob Zombie is an accomplished technical filmmaker. He's very good at what he does, but what he does is trash that I don't like. And I feel like he brought his trash to Haddonfield and dumped it on my front lawn, and I don't appreciate it. There were a few things I did like. I liked the soundtrack. I thought there was the change to the Loomis character. I really enjoyed. I thought was interesting. But overall, I don't know. Like Mikey said, it was a good time. I had no good time with this movie at all. I give it a 2.6.
God damn, Rob. Come on. Really?
Yes.
Jeez. All right. That's bullshit.
I'll be taking no further questions.
Okay. Kat, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
In a surprise twist, I have the highest score.
Holy shit.
Not by much, but I do have the highest score for Rob Zombie's Halloween out of the three of us.
Okay.
And I had it a lot higher until I adjusted, because that is how we've been doing remakes. That's how I've been doing remakes. I've also been comparing them to the original, but when I gave my Portnoy, I was just kind of like, I gave it directly at the end of the movie. I was basing it off of like what we had.
Right.
And I took notes also into like my other Halloween films without adjusting for like, this is a remake. They fucked it up. I ended up subtracting points for that.
Mm-hmm.
Not points plural, but like over a full point for that. And that leaves me at a 5.5.
Okay. That's fair.
You might want to remath on that, Kat. I don't think you did the subtractions.
I am
right.
a little bit drunk, but we're gonna find out tomorrow. I had a 4.2 originally and ended up bumping it up accidentally. No, but I had it at a I actually had it at a 6.9. Just so, this is gonna make Mikey mad. But just above my H2O score, because I ranked
6.9.
I had it just above H2O.
Did you just did that for the joke?
No, I did it because I had H2 at like a 6.8, I believe, was my Portnoy. So I went just a little bit higher for Rob Zombie's Halloween. But yeah, considering it's a remake, I don't feel good putting it, because when you compare it to the original, Mikey said it, they did it dirty.
They did. They did. Honestly,
I like it as its own movie. I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it is good.
Well, again, I can see that. I can see it. I'm not mad at that opinion on it. But yeah, I mean, honestly, if I was taking no points away for it doing the original as dirty as it did, I mean, this is it might be in the low 8s. Honestly,
get the fuck out of here.
I'm dead ass serious, man. It's a fucking hell
0.9 movie. If you look at it as not a Halloween movie,
they gave you crazy kills, a brutal killer, and
I didn't think the kills were that crazy.
There were a couple repetitive ones too. That kind of annoyed me a little bit. But you know, it was. I didn't think that. I thought it was a good horror movie. It was a really good horror movie.
Was it though?
I think so.
If I was looking at this as not a Halloween remake, I still wouldn't give it over a 4.
Over a 4?
No. It would be like a 3.3 or something.
No, this is no.
It's not good.
It is though.
It has terrible characters. The dialogue is shit. Everything's covered in a thin layer of grime and disgustingness. There's nothing good here.
You're a son of a bitch. I didn't even care the outcome of this thing, but you still pissed me off. You're a son of a bitch. Damn you. I don't. Again, I guess it's not your movie.
You picked a movie you knew I wouldn't like, and now you're mad because I don't like it. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not mad you don't like it.
Would you think it was going to be a Mikey's birthday miracle? Get the fuck out of here.
That would be nice, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, that's what we should have done. We should have had the AI write a thing called Mikey's Birthday Miracle to see who gets killed.
Pretty funny. But yeah, damn you, Rob. I don't know, man. I don't need too much to like it's a horror movie, man. There is nothing wrong a la Terrifier with a horror movie just giving you some fucking crazy kills, man, and having a good time with it.
No, but a lot of people do that and still make a good movie with a good story and interesting characters.
Right, but that's not what you're not getting that here. They're fresh out of all that.
I know, that's why I'm saying it's not a good movie. I know exactly what I don't get here, trust me.
Son of a bitch. All right. Rob, I feel like because now again we have looking at the schedule again. Next weekend's Patreon pick. Weekend after that's Rob's gonna be out, but the week after that, it's gonna be Rob's birthday pick. And I feel, that being said, I feel like I could have done worse, and I don't think you should be that mad at me.
I haven't made a decision yet. I told you I've thought about it. I'm down to a few movies here. I've got a a Fuck Mikey movie.
Oh,
I've got a movie I think we'll all like. And then I have a nuclear option that we're all going to hate, but I think is really funny.
I strongly believe that the Fuck Mikey option should be Halloween 2. I just think Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 specifically.
I mean, that's not completely out of the range. See, the whole thing really got thrown off when I discovered that Kiss Meets Phantom of the Park 2 is not a movie, but a comic book series. I was very disappointed.
Thank God. Man.
I'm just happy it exists.
Unless you guys want to do a comic book series.
No, we already did a cartoon. We can't have too many. I told you guys, I got shit for that. We get to we're gonna have a comic book. What the hell? No.
Oh, the other thing that we could do also, and I told you guys this, I will be out on what we would be recording on my actual birthday. I could just pick a movie for you guys to watch.
Yeah, you can kiss my ass too. Absolutely not. Because that'll be the nuclear pick, and you're out of town when the nuke goes off. No. But all right, so that's what we got coming up. We don't know what we're going to be doing for the Rob absent we get. You're racking up a lot of absences, man. Look at you.
I know. I'm not proud of it, but it's my new reality.
And the worst part is that we also have to account for we owe Mikey a Paranormal Activity movie, which now is going to have to be postponed.
Yeah, as long as it's coming, I'm fine with waiting. It don't matter. It don't bother me to wait.
We had talked about doing it instead of Rob's birthday pick, but then you decided you wanted Rob not to have to miss out on Paranormal Activity 2.
Well,
so
hold on now. I don't want it. For there to be no confusion. I would be perfectly fine with Rob and not having to hear Rob bullshit me through fucking Paranormal Activity 2. Our listeners, unfortunately, enjoy what Rob does. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not me. I would be more than happy to not have Rob shit on my Paranormal Activity parade again.
I am indeed the one I'm the straw that stirs this drink,
Are you learning some new phrases in the South?
I don't know where the fuck that came from.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's a fucking weird one.
I think I found it at the bottom of this hillbilly margarita over here.
I'm really curious to know what the nuclear option is. I'm scared, but I want to know so bad.
Yeah. All right. So you'll tell us all of them after, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, and I think I'll probably be ready to announce the pick next week, maybe.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to be here the following week, although I could include it in my statement that I'll probably make.
Wait, no, you don't need to do another one of those stupid statement things now. Don't. All right, I'm telling you ahead of time now. Don't do a statement.
All right,
Rob, absolutely do a statement. People will.
not next week, the following week. Don't be sneaky.
We'll see.
Put it in my statement. You already got one ready.
I don't even know what movie you're going to be watching yet.
Yeah, that was my problem. I didn't announce it last week because I didn't know. It snuck up on me, man.
I know. I'm down to these three, and then Kat threw this fourth into the mix.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like I can't pick that one because it's Kat's idea.
I just think that would be so funny to immediately choose the sequel to Mikey's own movie that he picked.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good idea.
Watch the instant regret.
Oh, there won't be any regret. I know. And again, this bit me in the ass with Velocipaster, but because I went in saying, it's not going to be as bad as Kiss Me's Phantom of the Park. I mean, Rob, if you could do that again, I would absolutely hate it. But part of me would just be like, bravo. Like, if you could do that twice.
Dude, it was really tough finding Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Remember, we had to watch that on Facebook.
We did have to watch it on Facebook.
I mean,
all right. Patreon.com/radio. Please go check that out. You're starting as low as $3 a month. Get next show every week. You get Patreon content. You get Easter egg content every week.
Mm-hmm. And our patrons are just the best people.
They are.
They are.
Weird to hear you say. But what about the other ones, Rob, that aren't patrons?
Cheap bastards.
Oh.
So it's just being nice to the patrons.
Yeah.
They're essentially the people that make up the cast of a Rob Zombie movie.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man. I completely forgot what I was about to say. This drink is strong. Slasher Radio on Twitter. Make sure you follow us. You'll figure out all the movies that we're doing ahead of time so you can get your watches in. And anything that happens last minute, you can be sure to find that there. I'm at Mikey's Dead. You can also check out Cult FM. You can check that out on Twitter as well, Cult FM Pod. Give us a follow, por favor. That is the other show that I do with Allie, which is, here's my button, Loma's Huge Clown Penis.
Huge clown penis.
By the time this comes out, that our next episode will not be out. Next week, we're going to probably be talking Dead by Daylight stuff.
Ooh.
Talking about Nick F. and Wu Cage.
Yeah, and then Nick Cage will be brought up. I am a Nick Cage main as of right now. I have converted. There was, man, you guys should have seen on Twitch. They had like the stream titles on there. All the gens gone in 60 seconds, and like, it's pretty funny. And that's it for me. Rob, where they find you?
You can find me over on X. I'll be Xing over there. I am at Radio Rob 123.
Don't feed into it. Don't call it that.
Rob 123 over there. You can listen to the other show that I do with Kat, the Nick fucking Woo Cage Cast, which I believe by the time this is out, hopefully we will have recorded and released our episode on Moonstruck, which should be a fun one to record. And also, I wanted to mention real quick, my brother started a podcast.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's a stand-up comedian, and him and a couple of friends started a podcast called The Good, the Bad, and the Funny, and they've released one episode that I enjoyed, so, check it out. It's not horror movie related at all, but maybe you'll like it.
That's the name of the episode, or the name of the show?
The name of the show, The Good, the Bad, and the Funny.
I'm going to check that out for sure. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can also find me on Blue Sky, too. You can't find Rob there, but you can find me there.
Motherfuckers, I can't believe you won't let me in.
I really wish I didn't think of it until too late. It would have been really funny to announce that I had joined Blue Sky as Radio Rob 123.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I haven't got my first invite yet, which is why Rob is not on there. But you will probably, before you get your invite that I will give you, Rob. I'm gonna let you know ahead of time now. You can also find me on Blue Sky as Radio Rob 123.
You motherfucker. And it's not funny.
Did you really think I wasn't gonna do that? Come on. And how does it feel too? You're gonna have to, if I do that, not only will you have to wait to get on there a whole nother week on top of your thing not being taken. So you're gonna have to wait another week because I'm gonna waste an invite on that. Fucking phenomenal. Kat, what about you?
You can find me on Blue Sky as Kat Valor. You can find me on Twitter until it dies as Kat_Valor. You can find me on Instagram, I guess. Kat Valor. Check out my website, catvalor.com. By the time this episode is released, my book will be out. So pick up a copy of that. Still on my website.
Did you sign mine yet, Kat?
Yes. They've I signed the book plates. Ingram which is our printer, has notified us that there is a delay. They have not told us what the delay is or how long it will last. I have a feeling it has something to do with them getting slack over their terms of service, but that's like a whole other issue.
Okay.
So anyway, I was not allowed to sign anything because they will not print the books. But I signed the book plates, so they'll have signatures if we can get them printed.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, guys. Come back, check us out next week. It's Patreon time. We don't know what we'll be watching. We hope they'll be gentle. Good night from Slasher Radio.
All the best of Slasher Radio podcast.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.